Welcome, everybody, to the long-awaited Making Awesome podcast. It's episode... I should have this up, but I definitely don't. Episode
Definitely not
259, yes.
Professional.
And for the first time in a long time, we have an actual, scheduled guest. We have Gabe from Slant 3D. Gabe, introduce yourself to the folks at home so they know who you are and what you do.
What's up, y'all? Gabe Slant 3D. We make printers so people can get stuff printed. That's pretty much what we do. We build giant print farms.
How giant of a print farm are we talking about?
We always say the tagline is give anybody 1,000 machines. So we've got more than that right now, but like anybody who plugs into us has access to 1,000 machines.
And that's through your, what do you call it?
The mega farm.
No. Passport?
Are you thinking about teleport?
Transport? Teleport.
Damn, you bastard. This is the one thing that just gets me so mad that people in 3D printing still call it like it's Telegram or it's Passport or whatever else it was. I'm like, it's freaking teleport. And then there's portals to connect onto the side. Teleport connects to the store. It has nothing to do with Telegram or anything else here. It's the meaning is in the word. Jeez.
Look, I never said that we knew what we were doing, but, you know.
Do your research before the shows. Jeez, this is so unprofessional.
Wait, we're supposed to do research?
I'm writing out. I'm off this show. This is over.
Hey, you speak for yourself. I did research. I spent a good 5 hours doing research on the behind the scenes just to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Thank goodness someone here is a professional. He even has a background.
Yeah, he's got the background. I don't, I don't have anything. But at least I reply to people on WhatsApp, Jacob.
Yeah.
Look.
Calling you out for that.
I've been busy. I've
heard you've been
That is
busy
hard.
because I had to find out on Facebook rather than you telling me properly. And I found out through your mother, sir. And I can even see it on your hand. You're wearing some new jewelry.
Actually, I'm not. I've been wearing this for a while. That's a.
Oh, it's on the wrong finger. Okay. Well,
it's on the wrong finger.
I found out on
No.
Facebook through your mother.
For everyone who is out of the loop, me and Rosie got engaged.
Congratulations.
About 2 and a bit weeks ago.
Gross.
The rings are still being made, so we don't have them to show off yet because we got some really nice custom rings. So Rosie's getting pink opal with amethyst and moissanite, and it's going to be a 2-part ring. So obviously you've got your engagement ring and then you've got your wedding ring to go onto it. And then I can never do what Joseph Proust has done with his solid diamond ring,
You can.
but I'm getting close with a solid ruby instead. So I'm getting a ruby band, and that'd be nice.
Oh, that'll be beautiful. Congratulations, man.
Adam's an
thank you,
editor.
thank you.
Adam's
But
in
also-
chat, he's mad at you.
I was going to do this live on the podcast on the Sunday after we got engaged, but someone was gallivanting around the country and cancelled the stream. So I think that's you.
That's yeah.
And I even sent you a message saying, I have some news for you. And then you cancelled the stream.
And I already knew it because your mother put it on Facebook.
Yeah, I know. We're going to update our Facebook when we get the rings because everyone's going to ask, where's the rings? So we were going to wait. And then Mom's just like, done. I'm like, oh, could have waited just
Amber-
a little bit.
That's what
So-
mothers are for.
To be fair, Amber sent it to me because Amber saw it on Facebook. She's like, "Is this real?" I'm like, "I assume it's real. Why wouldn't it be real?" But yeah, so we're gonna be talking all about print farming. Also, I guess congratulations or something. I don't know.
I'm the lucky one.
Nice little
She's the one
update. Put
that's
that at the beginning. It's
going
all right.
down.
I mean, yeah, she hasn't figured out she's marrying down yet, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
I think every woman marries down most of the time.
After
tolerate
seeing
it.
the
They tolerate
pictures
it.
of my parents' wedding, my father has this shit-eating grin that's like, she has no idea.
She doesn't know. I made it. I crossed the line before she found out. It's like great.
Yep. Nah, yeah, look, they've been married for many years. I want to say this is 40 years.
Oh wow!
But they're both officially retired now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how this goes. My father is still alive, so it's working out well so far. They haven't gotten tired of each other yet, so.
He's not getting weaker and weaker when his oatmeal's tasting a little different or anything like that.
Well, so my mom is Cuban.
Oh, it wouldn't be slow.
It would not be slow.
There'd just be like knife marks or something, I believe.
Yeah, it's it's the heat-seeking chancla, right? It just, I'm telling you, this is the way that we solve all these, issues overseas. Just put like a dozen Latin women in charge of the Department of Defense or whatever we're gonna call it now, and
that'd wrap it up pretty quick.
Yeah, just have them threaten chanclas, and all of a sudden, peace on earth. No one messes with pissed off Cuban women, man. They
not at all.
But yeah, so Gabe, I would assume that you have the largest print farm in America. Are you able to confirm that?
I'm not able to confirm that. I don't know. There's a bunch of them around because you've got Wiglets, you've got Gantry. I'm sure there's one or two that are still
Wiglets.
Like a secret that I don't know about. Wiglets has a bunch because they were going to scale up to about 10,000 machines this year was their goal.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And they're
Our
all
mega
bamboo
farms only expect to get up to like 5. They're using all bamboo.
Yeah.
Which is a thing. I don't know. Well, they'll have to keep on using those because there's not another option.
That's a lot of logistical overhead just for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I've talked to them a couple times about it, and they're going to have some networking and scaling issues and that kind of stuff. Just the function of it all, because everybody thinks print farms are a bunch of machines on a shelf, and it's not. It's everything else around it.
Yeah, it couldn't be.
The machines on the shelf is the easy bit. Everything else that suddenly becomes the hard bit.
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, it is so easy to put machines on the shelf, but all of a sudden, if you're not going to run them, manually,
refill all the stuff. Yeah,
you're
just changing out filament all day long. If you cross 100 machines, you're never not changing filament or have somebody like full time on that.
Well, I guess unless you make your own filament line, sir.
Well, that helps a little bit. If you can like configure every single part of the stack, it helps a bit.
So let's.
Yeah, we have about one operator per about 500 machines or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a really good number.
That was the main thing we cared about when we were starting everything up. It's just like, make sure that you don't have humans on it. Because that's why printing is so expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Some morons pulling the part off. Yeah.
Hi, moron here. This is why it's expensive.
Exactly. Exactly right.
How are you guys able to handle that kind of... Because traditionally, we see most farms cap out at about 100 machines before you have to have more people.
Oh, for sure. Oh, you almost need more people even before that, especially if there's one piece of support to be removed or something.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, all of it was very early on. Much of it is about the design of the machines. Is like, if you can eliminate one piece of maintenance, you eliminated just a huge amount of time. And then you reconfigure the spools. We don't run 1 kg spools if we can possibly avoid it, because you're going to change them every other day or every day, whatever it happens to be. So we run like 3 kg spools and try to get them up to 5 if we can. So there you go. Just 3x less labor. Quick, easy, simple things.
Bro, switching over to 3 key or 5 key spools was like...
it's mandatory.
Yes.
Well, especially when like a lot of our prints are over a kilo and over a day. It's why are we doing this?
Yes.
I'm doing
the
some
amount of
really
print
quick
loss from the switch. Sorry, but Jacob, go for it.
That was it. Like, I'm doing some really quick math right now to work out, if you're only using 1 kilo reels, how many people per printer would you really need? So you've got about 800,000 cubic millimeters of filament on a 1 kilo reel of filament.
We're going deep in the math on this one.
Yeah, I know.
And you do 10 cubic millimeters per second, meaning you have 80,000 seconds per printer until it runs out of material. So you turn that into minutes, it's 1,300 minutes. Turn that into hours. Basically, every 22 hours, your one reel will be used.
Man, we're running way faster.
That alone
than that.
should start saying like the amount of printers you need before one person cannot replace them fast enough. Because it takes like 5 minutes to replace a reel.
It depends. It depends.
No, this shouldn't be.
But it depends on the printer. Some of them are longer.
Some of them
Some
are
of them
if you're doing
shorter.
like an AMS shenanigan or something, again, like the off-the-shelf machines. Like one of our a filament switch on one of our machines takes under 30 seconds. And that's long. Like I want them spec'd at like 10 seconds, but that's waiting for extruder to heat up and that kind of thing. So yes, wherever you can shave off seconds is the thing to do. But that's why when you have this dichotomy between people buying consumer machines to put into a print farm, it's designed to be a consumer device, which is to be idiot proof and make sure people can't screw up. But inside of a facility, you're like, no, we have operators and they know not to stick their hand in the power supply or something like that.
Do they though?
Get it out where people can get to it. Yes, they do. This is part of running an organization that you learn to deal with.
Do they though?
Not in the first 2 to 3 weeks, but you get there.
Yeah, after the first 3 or 4 shocks, they're like, maybe I shouldn't stick screwdrivers in the power supply anymore.
Exactly. There you go. So that's part of the training process. You're just like, you'll learn. You roll from there. But yeah, this is the entire conversation is like why we built our own machines. Is like consumer machines just cannot scale well without having all this other crap attached to them. And there's bottomless reasons to not use off-the-shelf machines. Bamboo could brick your entire farm tomorrow.
Huh.
I kind of don't want to build out 1,000 machines tomorrow. And even as a consumer device, they're meant to like burn out every 18 to 24 months because they're a consumer electronics device.
Yeah.
So why would I build an industrial system on that? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the other one is like a load of consumer machines. They're not designed around networking. And that's like the biggest one for a print farm is actually usable networking.
Yes.
Hey,
the
Jacob.
The fact that Bamboo like has to be wireless.
What microphone are you currently using?
This one, but I will double check.
You sure about that?
Why do you ask?
Because you sound like you're talking through a tin can.
Oh, select microphone and video broadcast. Audio input capture in video broadcast. Let me check in video
Just
broadcast.
Get closer to the mic, Jacob.
Audio. It's using the webcam.
It's
using the webcam.
I was almost positive of it. I'm like, he doesn't sound right.
There we go.
Oh my
that's
god!
so
Hello,
much
everyone.
better.
There's high fidelity. Yeah,
Well,
Adam says we'll
welcome,
fix it in post. Don't forget to start. Don't forget to start and stop your recording because it won't fix it.
It's fine because the recording was already in NVIDIA broadcast. It's NVIDIA broadcast was using the wrong input. So unfortunately, I don't think we can fix it in post.
Gabe, we're a professional show. We definitely
I know, right? Been
see
doing this for
emails
years
and DMs, and we haven't been trying to get you on for, let's go with 3 months.
6 months?
6?
I think we chatted last fall the first time or whatever it was.
That's fair. Yeah, because
it was funny.
You guys have blown up on social media too, talking about doing this because you have done what the vast majority of print farms don't do. You said, F it, nothing on the market fits what we're going for, so we're going to do it ourselves. And that, to me, is probably the most, like, polarizing thing that you guys have ever done. Because print farm owners are going to either say, oh, they're crazy, or no, they're brilliant. Right. I think you're brilliant for this, but I want to hear more about these machines and why you went this way.
Well, when we started, the whole project started basically in like 2017 as part of another company where we were running a small print farm, as every small print farm starts out, like 10, 15 machines. And then you're like, well, this is terrible. But that's because the machines were terrible, even at that point. So we were like, well, all of it was super solvable, though, because we're like, well, this rattle trap, if you just freaking didn't screw it together with acrylic or something like that, it'd be great. So like there was really low hanging fruit to improve these machines. But then as we went along it, we were just like, okay, if we're going to build 1,000 machines, every freaking extra screw is going to screw us down the line. Right. It's going to rattle loose and kill the machine. And we're like, none of these machine manufacturers are ever going to optimize this direction because all the print farms in the world right now, maybe there's 100,000 machines, maybe, of all the print farms on the planet. But Bamboo sold 20 million of these things last year. They don't care what we want. So I am not a market segment that they will ever optimize towards. So we were like, we're just going to have to do it ourselves. And since we had started back in that era, there was access to all the componentry from the kits and that kind of stuff to where we could build up kind of the supply infrastructure to do it ourselves. But in all fairness, over the last like 2 years, we've been growing so quickly that we've started to benchmark some of the consumer machines to use as stopgaps. And we know we're going to have to replace them in 2 years, but we're like, we need 100 more machines next week, guys. So we got to go. So we qualify, bring them in and do modifications so that they're scalable again, so that they're not a consumer device as closely, but like we get to use the bones and like swap out a board or something. But it was really just the necessity of like, there is no machine that will work here. Everybody's like, oh, Prusa is so great for print farms. And I'm like, Prusa is a bed slinger. Fundamentally hate bed slingers. Not using it in a print farm. I don't care if they use it in a print farm. Everybody says that, but now you have a cost problem.
They are very expensive.
Yes.
I will say so once they fix their AC board issue where they don't like UPSs, once that is fully taken care of, we are likely going to be buying at least 10 and then indexing every one of them, because the index I think the index is kind of that key, because like, okay, fine. Yeah, they're $2,000 a machine, plus at least another $1,000 for index. So you're talking $3,000 for a 300 by 300 by 330. That is a whack load of money. But to give you an idea, and I got a bone to pick with you, but I'm going to pick a bone with you later. I don't know if you'll remember.
We got lots this. Do you want to talk about open source right now, Gret?
Oh, no. No.
We can go down all these roads.
So you, sir,
what did I do?
Stole a project from me many years ago, and we're going to talk about this later on.
Shock horror.
Oh yeah, but I have no problem with it, because when I heard what you all were charging, I'm like, give it to him. But so this part right here, it'll focus eventually.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
this is not the part you stole from me.
Okay,
this one part, 65 of them, paid for a Snapmaker U1. It was the first 2 prints I ever did with the machine, fully paid off in less than 48 hours. And it's like, well, okay, that's an $850 printer. I could have paid off a Core 1L with index in this, with how much we were charging for these, because they needed them stupid fast. Like I unboxed the Snapmaker, and the first thing I ran were client parts, because the XL was busy. And like, bro, perfect. Like perfect prints. But just crazy to me how good consumer machines have gotten out of the box. But when you feel that machine, it's like, it's nothing but plastic. It's all plastic. And so I know like it's never going to withstand like a proper farm environment.
Correct.
But we don't have the manpower to build machines. So what are the basic build dimensions of your machine?
The build dimensions are 220 by 220 by 220. It is a cube.
Really?
Small. Yep.
So, all right.
You know what? That is vindication and a half for me. The amount of people, they're like, oh, the construct one is too small. I'm like, no, I did the math beforehand for the bed size, and 225 by 240 by 180 was the 98% like bell curve for all 3D prints available.
That is correct. Like the large format sounds nice, but the vast majority of parts never need it.
Oh God, he's so upset. I love it.
I am. This isn't upset. This is enjoyment.
All right,
I am vindicated.
I'll make sure to clip this one for you, Jacob. Don't worry.
Oh, I am so vindicated now. I'm like,
I thought you did your research.
No, it just needs to be a bit big. I did. I had graphs on charts. I downloaded the entirety of Thingiverse. Bear in mind, they have like a way to stop you downloading more than a set amount because it triggers like DDoS protection. I found a way around it. I collated all of the print volume sizes for every single job, and I got the perfect size. It was 225 by 260 by 180, and I built a printer around that size.
You are selling a machine that people want to buy, and they're going to compare you against the Bamboo, so it can be rough, even though you're technically correct.
The new one is Oh, it's going to be gorgeous.
Speaking of the new one, I guess we should thank our sponsors for the stream, including Construct 3D, the makers of the first Bamboo 3D printer, the UK's fastest 3D printer, and now the Construct 2, which is a machine that is actually designed for lights out production with the lights out production unit capable of over 8 kilograms per day of actual material at actual temperatures at actual speeds. None of this marketing BS. I confirmed it myself. If you do want to check them out, it's construct-3d.com. Links are, of course, in that description down below. And again, a huge thank you to Printed Solid and 3D Prima for providing filament for the giveaway, which you guys can join by going to the pinned comment or pinned chat message if you're watching us live, and go ahead and enter that giveaway, assuming I did all of that right. So if you are in the UK or the EU or anywhere other than the United States, you'll get a roll from 3D Prima, which we still believe should have a line of filament called Prima Donna, but they don't. But they should. And in the States, it'll come from Printed Solid. But see, the fun thing is, Gabe over at Slant 3D, a new challenger is approaching for Made in America filament. Good sir.
Uh-huh.
So not only do you have smaller than expected machines, you're making your own damn filament now too, aren't you?
We've been doing this for like we've been doing it for about 4 years. We've been making our own filament. We just turned it loose for everybody else about 2 years ago because I wanted to kind of stick it to the U.S. manufacturers because I was just like, you guys are being too lazy. So yeah, about 2 years ago, we made a YouTube video saying, why does filament suck or something? And we were just like, people have the little hitch at the end of the spool, which is stupid. And everybody should know it shouldn't be there because it jams your machine. And there's all this other stuff. And this is how much it costs to make it. And then we were just like, everybody's wanting it. And I'm like, I don't want to make filament. I really don't want to make filament. It's gonna break.
That's the best way to start making something.
Exactly. Right.
Get fed up yourself.
I really don't want to do it. But like you've got customer support and people won't know the profiles. And then we just leaned into it. We were like, okay, we'll make filament and we're going to have the worst customer support on the planet, which is like 0. And people are still buying it.
Got it.
Exactly. Right. But we started doing Tangled and we sell black PLA. And this spring we had a big giant release and we released gray PLA. And then we released tough filament, which is tough unnamed fucking filament because it's PCTG and I hate that acronym. So I was just like,
it's such a terrible acronym.
Isn't it the worst name ever?
Because everyone thinks it's PETG and they're like,
exactly.
Wait, what do you mean it's polycarbonate PETG? No, it's not.
Yes, exactly. It is the worst brand name it's not a brand name. It is the chemical composition of this filament, which is not what you use for the brand name.
Right.
Especially if it's freaking the fact that any of these filaments have letters included in them, especially the fact that PLA doesn't mean anything anymore, is ridiculous to me. Call it Uber filament or whatever filament or Jack's filament. I don't care. Just tell me what temperature it prints at, and like the vast majority of people will be fine with it.
Amen.
And the rest who need the spec sheet could go dig up the spec sheet. It's fine.
But then you have to trust that companies are going to put out spec sheets that aren't full of shit, that are actually, got real data on them. And
welcome to Wild West.
Oh my God. Like, dude, the amount of, I can tell you that if you want to resell filament right now, if you can find a way to stock bamboo filament, you will make so much money right now. The amount of calls that we are getting now daily for people that want bamboo filament. I'm like, we do not stock it. We will never stock it because it's not pure. You don't know what's in it, and there's no way to certify the stuff that comes out of it. And
we can't do it on our side. Specifically, we looked into just the data technical files. It's not legal. They're not official, so you cannot import them properly. But everyone's doing it anyway, and they're just waiting to be caught. But it's annoying. But I want to throw to the gang. So everyone hates PCTG, the naming scheme. The UK calls it something different. They call it Pet C instead of Pet G. What do you think about that?
That's as bad. I mean, like you've turned it into 2 syllables, but
well, you got
I think it hurts.
And honestly,
which is 2.
Yeah,
C and G are pretty close on the keyboard.
They're close on the keyboard.
Yeah, they are.
And nobody recognizes the benefits of it. PCTG and PETG are different materials with completely different performance parameters. Having them that close because they're chemically that close is ridiculous. That's like saying diamond and carbon black are the same material, so you should totally use them interchangeably. I'm like, no, there's different things.
So
Don't worry, the marketing team's already spooling that up.
I'm gonna be the really crazy person here.
I have never used PCTG.
I do recommend it.
It's so good. It's my
pretty good.
go-to material.
I've never.
It is a
used
dark
it.
horse. Yeah.
So
It is, I think, yeah, especially down there in Florida, you'd get past the hydroscopy a little bit. Slightly worse, better than PETG.
Is it okay? Well,
Yeah.
honestly, right now our rolls of PETG aren't lasting long enough out in the open to get like, dude, we're burning through 80 to 100 kilos a month on 6 machines for one customer. Like, they're not staying out long enough. Like, I'm looking at an inventory of over 600 kilos of white PETG only. Right? And mainly that's because there's a huge issue right now with getting raw materials for PETG because, you know, a lot of it is shipped and oil. I don't know if Jacob, even has oil prices hit you guys as hard as it's hit here in the States?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So for everyone wondering, also All Clean restocks in 10 days, and then we get another shipment in 45. But this is how I know. Our shipping price for our bottle supplier went from $800 for 2,000 kits worth of All Clean to ship over to us to $4,500.
Buddy, I would go drive to get it. Aren't you making it locally-ish?
No, we're making all the filling, the chemical, and everything locally, but the glass bottles, you don't buy glass bottles in the UK.
Jacob,
our industry is non-existent.
Cut those glass bottles, homie. It's not worth it.
We're already making a new cut of All Clean, which is going to be like All Clean Essentials, which is the exact same chemical, plastic, cheaper bottle, much worse packaging. So just to make it happen.
And Gabe, if you haven't tried that, maybe we can get him a kit at some point. Jacob's got this fancy bed cleaner. It's a 2-step bed cleaner, which means it does take a little bit of time. But yeah, brother, it's pretty good. And for the home gamer, it's good. I don't know if print farms would benefit from it. I assume they would.
Why wouldn't they?
Well, it's a time thing, right? So for those that are listening that want to start a print farm, thing. Right?
I'll do this up.
The biggest thing that you have to deal with is time. Your material cost, your machine cost, none of that matters. I mean, it matters, but your biggest expense is human time. Like,
yes,
I can look at our expenses for 3D Musketeers. Our human cost for 3D Musketeers is over double any other cost in this company. So that kind of gives you an idea.
Let me flip it around then. The reason I actually designed All Clean in the first place was because I've killed too many machines in my own print farm with a dirty bed. And the repair process for a machine in the print farm is longer than cleaning a bed.
You're talking about just like the having the blob if it didn't stick to the bed?
Yep, Blobadoom.
Yep. Yeah.
That's the biggest failure case.
That's fair. I'll take a look at this or something like that. We'll get some of it in.
Yeah.
Your packaging.
Drop me a message or anything.
Packaging's pretty dope. Yeah. The glass bottles
the packaging's pretty nice. Those are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Those are pretty darn nice.
Yeah, we've got bigger bottles coming as well. So specifically for print farms where you can get a 500ml or 750ml bottle. We even have one that I'm not sure I'm going to go with.
Go for a full liter.
Yeah, no, we measure with 9mm bullets. How many 9mm bullets?
How about a gallon? Because we can get like the 2 to 3 gallon jugs that come with big flexi hoses. And you just can cart it around and just go, pss, 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 and that's it.
That's what we need.
Or just sell us concentrate, right? Sell us like a Tide Pod that we throw into.
Yes.
That is actually something I'm considering as well. We're working with the chemical company to see how much effect local water differences do on the chemical. At the moment, it's reverse osmosis water, so it's ultra pure. But if there's like calcium deposits, we're checking how does the calcium in the chemical affect bed adhesion.
That's curious.
Need that. I think our water's half sand.
Yeah, I have a well, and I have high iron and high calcium.
Yeah.
But like, you know.
So for everyone who knows what All Clean is, it's a 2-part bed cleaner that is designed specifically to reset PEI back to the chemical base.
Links to it down below.
Fixes the problems.
Links to it down below. Let's crash Jacob's website.
We restock in 10 days.
Let's
Do it. Crash my website again.
Jacob's website
I have added more resources.
Can be
and there's
found
the
on
new,
construct-3d.com/allclean.
Oh, look at him. There we go.
Yeah,
I'll get some sent out to you, Gabe.
It's amazing stuff. And so Chris Catlett in the chat was pinging me saying PCTG is to PETG as ASA is to ABS. So it's the weird uncle that's just better in every single way.
Yeah. That's a really good way of putting it.
Great. Hey, now I will say, right, the specific customer that goes through a ton of material, they've only qualified PETG. I've talked about PCTG.
Yeah.
Heck, I've talked about nylon with continuous fiber and all of this. They said, nope, we have qualified this. We don't want to mess with it. There's no point in screwing around with something that works. And you know what? That's totally fair. So then why did you guys with Tangled look to PCTG rather than an ASA, which as far as I'm aware is much easier to extrude than PCTG?
I don't know
There's
about
caveats.
that. Yeah.
There's caveats.
The problem with ASA and all that kind of stuff is the emissions. Like with us inside of our print farm and our facility in general, I don't want to have to deal with the crap if I don't have to deal with the crap.
Fair.
PCTG is still a lot cleaner. It was
It
really more of
sticks
an
a
argument.
lot better as well.
That too. Like
ASAs, if the surface energy on the build plates is so much lower, your risk of blob of dooming just because it doesn't stick perfectly.
You know, that's fair.
So much higher.
Your heat up times go down lower because you're not heating up to 100 Celsius as well.
That too. You save about 20 degrees on the whole thing.
Yeah.
PCTG is still way higher than PETG. It's like a 280 and like an 80 bed plate or
That's
so, but
normally
it's
what
not
I run
bad.
PETG
Yeah.
at.
But save your electric bills and take down 10 degrees from all that stuff. Gee whiz.
So fun fact, and see, this is something that you don't deal with up north, but here in Florida, if you don't run enough temperature on your build plates, like if you're anything under 75 Celsius for PETG, it just doesn't stick. I don't care how clean your build plate is. It doesn't stick.
So you have to boil the humidity off of it.
Yeah. So Jacob actually talked about this a while back, and I'm like, that is so stupid. I'm gonna try it. And son of a bitch, it works. Now, I'm cheating now. So for the most part, I'm putting the beds in the HT90 and using its 150 Celsius build plate to boil everything off of my build plates.
Yeah.
But, you know, dude,
Pre-prep's
literally
underrated.
Huh?
Weirdly enough, that conversation with you, Grant, was the start of where I was looking at the chemicals, because I'm like, wait a minute, if I have to boil my bed on my bed heater to like 120 degrees to offset the moisture, what else can I be doing to make my beds work better? Because I bet no one's ever actually considered heating your bed up to maximum temperature to dry your bed.
I've never considered it, and
because it's a plastic.
It is.
PEI absorbs moisture like every other plastic. It is slow, but it does do it.
Oh,
and when it's
not
moist, it doesn't
all.
stick very well.
The Ultem 1010 that we use, I am working on custom drying solutions right now. The Ultem 1010 lasts less than 2 hours in open air in Florida before it is useless.
I'm so glad I got a slightly blended polymer of PEI for our beds, because they take like 6 months to absorb moisture.
Yeah. Well, so most print beds are 9085, I believe, and they're not 1010. But like I've got a roll of 1010. I was told by Prussia that it was dry, and I didn't need to dry it. I could just go right into printing. Very clearly, when we started to print, this was not the case.
Never trust when they say it's dry from factory.
Filament manufacturers never,
Well,
also, all filament manufacturers, and Gabe, of all people, I kind of hope you're doing this. You run them through water to cool them down. You have a water trough.
That doesn't.
I was gonna say I know he doesn't do it, and I know he's got some opinions here.
I have opinions. What are you talking about? Run them through what? You run them through.
Yeah, when you extrude your material, and then you water bath them, and then you roll them up, and then you dry them.
Yeah. Oh.
Most people don't dry them.
Most people don't do the drying step afterwards, so they've still got residual moisture from the cooling process on the reel that then gets absorbed in.
This is true. Unless especially if you're extruding in an ambient area, or like if you're extruding down in Florida, you absolutely have to run it through a dryer because that spool is going to absorb all the surface moisture from it all. We're in Idaho, we have 20% humidity. The environment is the dryer. Yeah, like if I leave it outside, it'll be drier, even if it rained the night before.
How bad's your static issue?
It's pretty noticeable.
It's like you can't get close to the filament line, not because it's hot, but because if you get close enough,
you
you
get
feel
zapped
the
something
coronal
awful.
discharge on your arm.
Yes. You feel a little bit of glow when you're over there.
Yep. Hey, Valor Arc Designs is in Tampa. I'm up in Wesley Chapel, dude. Hit me up or something. Just Google the company, text the phone number on there. We'll get together at some point. I didn't know there were more people in Tampa that watch the channel. But, dude, yeah, so there's a new company down in Florida that's doing filament called 3D Brothers.
Oh, I think I've run into these guys, but it was like 6 months ago.
So I ran into them at Rapid, and I asked if they were using pure material, and they said yes. And I said, okay, do you have an SDS? They said, well, no. We do have about 1% additive. I said, so it's not pure. They're like, no, it's pure. I said, by your own admission, it's not pure. Like, if you're putting additive into your filament, I don't care if it's 0.1%. It is not pure.
See, I'm on the other side. I don't care what
cannot have
additives you're
colors,
adding, but at the same time, what resin grade is it? Because that's like everyone's like, oh, PLA is pure, but there's so many different types of off-the-shelf pure PLAs. Because it depends on who your resin manufacturer is for the raw nurdles.
NatureWorks versus Ingeo or something like that.
Well, those are the same one, but it's be like Orbian versus NatureWorks. The NatureWorks is the main company, and NGO is their brand name for their PLA organic materials and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
shows how much I know.
Exactly,
like
right? All you guys whining about
resins.
pure don't even know their company's making it here.
Okay, this is filament that I've made. Look at how dusty that spool is, and that will tell you how long I've had this.
How do you have that much dust down there when it's that wet?
How old do you think
That's
this
a good
roll is?
point.
Come on, Gabe. How old do you think this roll is?
That roll is from 2017. Because it is a 0.75 kg spool, and I don't know why you would have one of those in the building.
It's a 0.5 kg spool, to be clear.
Okay. It's a Ninja Flex 2, which is also somewhat. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I can't talk about that stuff. I run a different company.
I look. It is what it is. So these are so old. We were in a different location when we made these.
Okay.
And this was made, I kid you not, on a Philextruder. So diameter consistency, never heard of her.
Okay, you know what? Diameter consistency is a little bit overrated. And I know I shouldn't say that when we make filament or whatever else it was, but it's a tiny bit overrated.
I think it is too. 20 micron precision. Yeah, you sure about that?
It didn't matter at all. And if you had filler the wrong color in there, it doesn't do anything. So I'm like,
Yeah. So
as long as your filament doesn't go over like 1.9 millimeters, I don't care that much.
As long as
that's the point where it jams my extruder.
Exactly.
If it jams my extruder, I'm pissed. If it still prints and it's a bit over extruded, I'll live with it.
Like
some people will point to like surface quality on it, but I'm like, that's not right.
There are so many more variables than filament diameter that affect your surface quality. And look, I think there is a market out there for a machine that like where they have the data that like Prusa puts on their spools, but then weighs the spool and knows how much filament is in the extruder. And based on that, it can go back in that data and check ovality, diameter, and be able to dynamically adjust your extruder, because then you can't complain. And I would bet dollars to donuts, it is super friggin' cool and it doesn't matter.
Those are two accurate statements.
Yeah. It would be.
There's a market for that. Grant, you remember the test rig printer in the back of the factory that had the 3 motherboards on it? One of them does have a filament ovality meter that I built to check like how thick or thin the filament was to dynamically change the flow. It made no difference. It just made no difference.
So
the ovality or the diameter difference relative to what you're extruding is so small that even if you slightly over extrude relative to a 0.1 layer height, you're changing nothing about the flow.
Right. Right. Dude.
Like if it was say 3 mil filament, that matters because the quantity of material is different. But for 1.75, it's nothing.
The problem with 3 mil is if you don't use it fast enough, it starts to break on the damn spool from the stress.
Yes.
The funny thing is, as far as like filament goes, I'm gonna say something that people are gonna hate me for. I prefer 3 mil.
Yeah,
I don't.
I hate you for that.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
There is a
You're
very
straight up wrong.
There's a very specific reason.
Doesn't matter. It's okay. You don't have to say it. It's all right. Doesn't matter.
To be clear, I have no
You're
machines
just wrong.
that are actively in production that use 3 mil. The reason I preferred 3 mil is that you can run harder extruders. You can run tighter extruder pressure because you have more cross-sectional area to grab with a gear, and you can force it through. You can force it through hot ends faster.
But that's hot end design.
But that's a problem in itself. If you're forcing half melted material.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Back in the days where you had 2 wheels up here, 2 inches of random filament, and then the nozzle. Sure.
I'm sorry, Grant. I'm not on your side with that. If you're doing it to get more grabbing pressure and forcing it through, you've got bigger problems. You need to raise your temperatures.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, if you're extruding
was back in the
molten
day,
material,
Jacob.
it's bad.
It's
was
about
back
the
in
amount
the
of
day
material you
before.
can put through the nozzle.
The only good thing about 3 mil filament is for flexibles because you get a bigger core for the flexible, so it's not as flexible. But that's it. I cannot question anything else about 3 mil because it heats up slower because there's more plastic melting. It's harder to control. Your extruders become a bit more challenging. Yes, you get more grip, but honestly, we already have more than enough grip. Like, it's just not worth
Your ooze
it.
goes up just a little, like 100%. All the things. The stringing is terrible.
All the problems get worse, and the only benefit is your flexibles now act slightly better.
To be clear, I am never going to take the time that it takes to convert any of my machines over to 3 mil. I will gladly continue to run 175 because it is much more ubiquitous, it is much more common, it is much easier to get a hold of, and it is much more affordable when you can get the exotics and things like that for it. So it is a personal thing that's like stuck with me from back in the day. I would love, God, now I kind of want to. Now I kind of want to see if there is any...
No, you don't.
So imagine...
Go back to the vintage days.
Back in my day. No, so...
Where tape ran on reels.
Hey, reel to reel is still the right way to do it, okay? That's, you get good quality there. But think about it. If you had a 3 mil CHT...
They support 3 mil already, just for reference.
I know.
Really?
But think about how much faster you could, in theory, flow filament.
No faster at all.
More surface area on those fins hitting the filament.
Surface area doesn't change at all because CHT already supports 3 mil. It's a universal input nozzle. It says it on the website. I'm going to double check because I might just be like hallucinating this now, but I'm pretty sure CHT nozzles are universal input.
I now really want it. All right, I'm gonna bother Bondtech about this because I want to see if they've done this test, and it's gonna bother me. And watch Gabe's gonna be like, "Son of a bitch, we now have to go to 3 mil."
There's no way.
But you wouldn't get any benefit from more surface area because the surface area is limited by the nozzle geometry, not by the filament.
Filament input, yeah.
I'm being told that I'm
compatible
wrong
with 2.85 filament. Done. On their website. It already works with it.
Gigantic is saying that I'm wrong because the inverse square law going bigger means lower heat flux. Shit, he's right. I reject your reality and substitute my own. That's
This is why the Micro Swiss Hyper CHT works, because it's more surface area over longer.
No, you guys are right. I know you're right because Reth is disagreeing, and Reth is the king of this stuff. Reth has done the research. In fact, Reth has released, I don't know if you saw this, it's pretty cool. For those of you running Revos, you can, I think it's already in pre-order, where you get the ADXL on the tip of the Revo. So it's not a functional Revo nozzle, but it puts the ADXL as close to the tip of the nozzle as possible. so that when you're doing your vibration compensation, you're actually doing it down at the nozzle rather than up at the board on the tool head. And
That's cool.
Yeah, so
That's a good
if
idea.
Reth, it's a great idea. If Reth is going to go through the effort of doing something like that, then I'm going to trust where Reth says not faster at all. I'm running 285 filament. It is slow to print. Heat up of the filament is something you can't get around. Fair. All right.
Damn right.
There's your expert. This is what I love about doing live shows, man. It's so great. And yeah, as Mike from Never Let the Machines Win says, make sure you like that smash button, show your support for Victoria's 3D Musketeers channel. That's the cat. The cat's name, Victoria.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yep. Amber's here.
Yeah,
so
I'd say the
cat's
only
good.
reason to go to 3 mil is if you're doing a print farm just for flexible shoes. It's
Yeah.
the only reason.
Yeah.
Because you're only going to be
that's what-
printing in flexibles already. And I'm pretty sure that's what Zella failed use, even though they haven't said what material they use, is probably 3 mil filament.
They've talked a little bit about their they're using a foaming TPU of some sort,
Like
but yeah, I
foaming
don't know what their
Kiva or
diameter is.
something.
Yeah, something like that.
What are your thoughts on this stuff, Gabe? Like all these
Which one?
new materials that are coming out. Is it a
Oh.
fad? Is it going to stick around, you think?
Oh, well, we need just as many materials as there are over there, because in molding, you have 10 bajillion materials too for each one of these specs.
Mhm.
But the problem is printing is just so early still, which is crazy to all of us who have been here since 2012 or whatever it is. But it's like printing is so new and so tiny and so underdeveloped still that, yeah, there's going to be a lot more. But at the same time, the churn is going to continue to be terrible on these new materials, because the new materials have no like marginal benefit or not enough use to sustain them. Like extrusion is really efficient and really high volume. If you make a specialty material that you sell 1,000 spools of a month, that is nothing and doesn't pay for the extrusion scale that you have. You have to get way more distribution than that. But this like custom batching, I don't understand, because I'm just like, it's more effort than
I
it's
don't get
worth
it.
and all the rest of it. Yeah.
I don't know where the money is. Why
Exactly.
where is the money? Meaning, where are they cutting corners to make their money in a small batch?
I actually have the
Sell
answer
it
to
for
this.
50 bucks a spool. Oh, go for it.
Yeah, I know the answer to this one. It is a hedging of a bet, right? They're hedging that in a small batch production, you're going to be so happy with it that you do longer batches. You know, so let's say you're doing a custom blend of material. Let's say you run 50 kilos of it to test. They're banking on the fact that you're going to do another 500, 1,000, 10,000 kilos of it, and they're okay with losing a little bit up front, with the hope that every now and then one of these hits, right? And they're able to do it's the same way that we see injection molding being so much cheaper overseas. Not just the labor being cheaper over there, they're hedging their bets of the fact that you're going to make a bunch of parts on these. So they're happy to take a loss on the mold, but they'll make a lot of extra profit on the actual parts themselves. They're amortizing the cost of their mold on a bet that you're going to make a lot of parts. And I believe that's where manufacturers are going about this, because otherwise I don't see it being worth it at all as well.
I think it's a lot of people just making a mistake on it too, because they don't
Yeah,
price for
same.
that type of a scale the way the Chinese do, at least like the batch filament makers. But also, like the attrition of products is so grand
Bro.
that you really have to know your business model completely to know how many of these guys who ran a mold are actually going to scale up to that size, because it's about 1 out of 100 who actually do. They run their little shot and
If
then the
that.
product changes or the guy gets fired. Exactly. So I'm like, it's brutal. So I don't know if they got to know what they're doing to sustain it and know exactly what that metric is.
Yep. Yeah.
If they went with that model,
It's
which is
cra-
almost impossible for a startup.
It's like I'm in your all subreddit. Which is it? 3D printing entrepreneurs.
3D print
I believe?
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, 3D print entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's ours.
And the amount of people that are vibe coding their own
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you all made a post about
This
it the
is-
other day too.
This is the number one
Oh.
moderation problem that we have. I'm like, we're not allowing another print price calculator
Yeah.
in the subreddit or another farm management
Like,
software that tells
3
you how
or
much
4
filament
of
you
them
have
a
left over.
day.
Yes, piles of them. Oh my gosh. I'm just like, no,
It
no
is
more.
scary how vibe coding has now just exploded.
I am really excited about this. I am jazzed about this. I think it's great. It's just people need to now have enough taste to actually take this tool and elevate it. Because it's kind of like the printed dragons. It's like the low-hanging fruit. Everybody goes and does it. great, fine, whatever. Go do something a little bit different with a little bit more effort, and you
Take
can
it
make something
further.
really cool. Yeah.
Like, if you're
Yeah.
going to have a cost calculator, integrate Spoolman or one of the tracking
Yeah.
systems so you can track your inventory in there as well. That can trigger an automatic reorder through some connection that you have, where even have it send a notification to your phone. Like, our cost calculator, I built in Excel.
Yes, and there's been a lot of them in Excel.
Yeah, and
Before the vibe coding, it was all Excel sheets all over the place.
27 different things that we use to calculate price. The funny thing is, it almost always boils down to a basic how many print hours multiply by this number, and it's the same. But
Is it bad that I admit that I've done the same? I had like a 40 different variable Excel,
Here's
and
why
I'm
you
just like,
build a-
no, every machine is roughly X pounds per hour. Done. Do not care.
Yep. Oh, it simplifies down really fast once you get into it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, the reason there are so many price calculators is because every single company uses them as a lead generator. That is all they exist for. Every cost calculator is going to someplace else. It's like a print service trying to promote print services, or a filament manufacturer trying to promote filament sales. They're like, use our cost calculator, and then you're just in people's life, and then you got the little banner ad down at the bottom or something. And admittedly, this is what we did with it too. We were just like, make one that's useful, and like people fall into it.
Here's like my business stance, because like we are very much B2B, B2G, B2E, right? We are very much not B2B or B2C.
B2C.
We don't want the small pieces. There, to me, there's not a lot of money in it. We do not, and as of my current thought process, will not ever, subject to change, have a publicly available price calculator on our website, because every single customer's solution needs to be priced differently. And again, if it is an individual, well, they're much more price conscious than a Fortune 100 company. And I can be too cheap for a Fortune 100 company. Well, why would we provide that same product to a Fortune 100 company for a quarter of the price they're more than willing to pay for, when we could charge them 4 times the amount and just make a bunch of extra profit, and they still think they're getting a deal?
I have the reason why you wouldn't do that is that it's just the scalability of the team. Because we've had a tremendous problem scaling our B2B team, because I'm just like, it's an engineering problem of like, can this company sustain more, or is this part worth this much? And I'm like, I cannot confer that industry knowledge to a sales rep or something to accurately do this. They need a tool or a system of some sort in order to reasonably quote customers without bothering the 3-4 people who have the magic knowledge, like me or like you or someone else who knows how to quote these parts and realize, no, that's a high criticality hydraulic clip or whatever else it was. Charge them $40 a pop for that sucker, and it's going to be hell. And I don't like that person. And so you compensate that direction too.
Totally fair.
But yeah, to keep it, we've always fought with like, how do we somehow catch everybody? And the way we've gone at it is like, we just don't do bespoke. We're just like, these are the recipes. Like, you get black and you get it these settings. If it doesn't work for you, you got to keep on shopping. And that's pretty much the direction we've gone. The fight we've had is that we've effectively been like scaling down our non-automated like software our non-automated B2B. Because we're like, we don't have time to go through and handhold these people for a project timeline that is like 2 to 3 months for their decision making too. And then you find out that the project got killed or somebody got fired or something. So we've chased all of the software solutions, but now we're like, okay, we've got the funnel. We got everybody filtering into software like teleporter portals. How do we then peel off the people who are serious people, who are B2B, who then can then go over to the sales team and be kind of pre-prepped in the right kind of format? And we fight with that all the time right now, tweaking quoting forms and everything else, trying to figure out that flow. But ultimately, you just kind of got to pick a lane. And we've decided that we can make a bunch of parts for one guy, a bunch of parts for 1,000 different people, and still get to 1,000 parts. And that's what we're trying to get to.
Boy, that's so funny. We have gone opposite directions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I I want to do those bespoke parts so bad.
Mhm.
I'm okay with a 2 to 3 month cycle. Don't get me wrong. We prefer a much shorter cycle when we can. But I'm okay with that, mainly because if I can get that first job, and let's say the project does go through, we are now the people with that company indefinitely. Indefinitely. We are that person. So that initial time sink for us up front is at least right now well worth it. And we're more space constrained than anything else. We can't grow to 1,000 machines right now. We couldn't we could not double our size in the next 3 months comfortably. We're out of space. I am actively looking at solutions for more space right now. Because we are functionally out of space, and we need to change that yesterday. So that is a really interesting. I guess that makes a lot of sense, because a lot of people go after this low-hanging fruit of the B2C work that is quick, simple, dirty. Here are my colors. Some of them will offer more than black and gray. They'll offer, all the shiny colors.
We offer more colors than black and white and gray for people printing in the service, just not for selling angle.
I will say, though, the bulk of your customers are going to be black, white, and gray, aren't they?
85%.
Damn right.
Yep. Yeah,
Next, you got to add beige to that collection. Then you got 99%.
Pretty much.
Ours is white,
Beige is like the go-to industrial color. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
white,
sad.
black, gray, red, and blue, I think, come next. Beige is not
red.
commonly asked for. Yeah.
If you get any,
Really?
well, not for the industrial.
No.
I was surprised that you said industrial, Jacob. But like for consumer products, beige will start to take up that kind of percentage level.
Yeah, like from our side, we've had beige and brown because they look close to peak.
I was
That's
going to say,
why
are
they
you-
want
are-
it. Is
are
that
they
peak
trying to
Oh.
ultimate
simulate
look?
peak? Yeah.
Yeah, so they always go, it's either beige, grey, black, or white. And those are the three colors for all industrial users.
I don't like printing beige.
Oh, for sure.
I don't like printing
I
white
don't.
either.
I will say,
White
matte
is
colours-
terrible. If white can go to hell.
I'm working with a filament manufacturer right now. Printed Solid makes a quarter white, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? It's PLA with white colorant. That's a quarter of the white colorant they normally use.
Yeah.
That is quarter white.
Yeah.
I want half white PETG.
Okay.
Or
Hmm.
I want
Okay.
I want just a skosh of transparency. Because we talked about this before. I hate white filament because it shows flaws that aren't there. Because it produces shadows that are so obvious to the eye, but you can't feel them. You might be able to run your fingernail down it and feel it, but that's the only way you're going to feel it. But you can now see it because of the lighting. Give me a mildly translucent white, like a milky white that gets rid of this problem, and we are 90% happier as a company with a lot less people saying, why does it look like this? It's white. You asked for white. I told you about this. You didn't listen to me. It's not my fault.
3D printing is such crap.
Yeah, these 3D printers, they don't know what they're doing. I'm going to go buy a machine and do it myself. Go ahead. Do it yourself. Go ahead. You'll still call us because you're not going to know what you're doing. Like, don't get me wrong. I always encourage people to buy your own machines. If you are heavily price dependent, go buy your own machine, right? But if you are a small business,
it depends. It depends.
With how
Oh,
cheap
it depends.
machines,
It's a terrible idea.
it's fair.
Oh, without cheap machines? Oh,
Well,
okay.
with how cheap machines are, right?
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
They can.
This is fair.
They can.
I would say everybody should have a machine for prototyping and that kind of stuff. But
Sure.
if you're even doing batch production and you're that price conscious, I don't think they're doing their pricing correctly. Because even if you have the 10 machines there, you still have the operational space, people, expertise, all that kind of stuff, which is just kind of a ghost cost that people don't really recognize as part of the cost. They're like, yeah, we got it for the filament and the dude sitting down there. I'm like, there was other stuff. There's the stress of it all. And then it's late and all the rest of it. But it's just,
Yep. So Chris Catlett says, this is why 3D Musketeers won't ever scale up. It's fine, just a business decision. We are deliberately keeping ourselves from scaling right now. So I have this theory, and I'd love to get your opinion on this, Gabe. We are in a pretty serious bubble right now for 3D printing. And my assumption, we're seeing it with AI a lot faster, but I think we're seeing a mass adoption of 3D printing by companies that aren't using it or don't understand how to use it because they see a new technology and they want it. So we're seeing some of our customers saying, we're just going to in-house this. We don't need you anymore. We'll happily pay you to come and service the machines, do consulting, set it up. Great. The vast majority of them are returning in under 2 years because they realize this is way more complicated than they think. Do you think we're in a bubble like that right now?
I don't think we're in a bubble because I still think 3D printing demand is way below what it ought to be.
Yeah.
Fair.
But that dynamic of companies learning that, oh, we don't really want to do this. I think you're absolutely right and will continue because it's like, oh yeah, we're going to go grab our own injection molding machine. You can, but the only people who really do that well are Ford. Everybody else goes and gets somebody to do it for them.
Yep.
So long as the companies that are in the service bureaus and that kind of stuff that are doing good work are scaling up to make sure they don't stay stagnant and be like, well, the price this year is the same as the price next year and so on and so forth. I think they're fine. And there is that backlash.
Yep.
I look at it a little bit differently, though. I think most of these companies are buying a bunch of printers that the engineers are holding on their desks to where there's a transition in thought of like, oh, printing can actually make this part well now. And now they're going to think about outsourcing it more than they did. Because I still think the demand side is lower than what it ought to be. But there's this transition happening over this last 3 years of college kids coming up and having designed parts and being like, well, I can print this fine. I'm good with it. And having no... I've always said that like the biggest enemy to our company is a 60-year-old engineer who's just, regardless of what I show them, they're not going to be like, molding's better or something like that. And
oh my God. Yeah, it's the good
if I
old
run
boy.
into that dude, the good old boy, I'm just like, you're retired. You're not making the decision. I know I'm not going to change your mind. I'm kind of done having this conversation. I'll wait 10 years for you to die. And then the next guys will be just fine with this whole situation.
You're not wrong. Oh, you're not wrong.
I agree with Gabe. I 100% agree with Gabe. We've literally had several like defense contractors be like, we need 3D printers. They bought their printers. They haven't used them in 2 years. And then they've only just started using them. And I know because we've been getting support tickets through of new like hires where they are young lads and lasses that have just entered into the industry. And they're like, cool, the company gave me your printer with none of the documentation because they lost it 2 years ago. Tell me what I need to do. And it's been consistent in the last year. Is just people buying them from years ago and only now they're starting to use them.
Yeah.
Yes. It's finally getting the penetration.
But I don't think we're in a bubble.
Yeah.
Don't think it's a bubble, though. I think it's just there's a weird mismatch of growth of sale versus growth of knowledge. And the knowledge is lagging behind because they're buying these machines with nobody to use them. And they're getting in new blood to start using them.
And we all really underestimate how big that leg is.
Oh,
like you mentioned about like AI, Grant. I'm just like, AI is still so underutilized by the vast majority of people.
I'm with Gabe on this. I don't think
it's just humans are slow. Humans are just slow to grab stuff.
I will say it does appear like a bubble for AI, but that's just because people aren't using it right. It's like AI art. You got this massive influx of people who were just doing low like dregs of art level AI generation, not really understanding how the tool could be used to elevate what they're trying to do. Now there's a lot of AI art that people can't tell is AI art because it's not just draw me a picture of Spider-Man and it does a thing. It doesn't do that anymore. Like people are using it better, and it's like vibe coding. Vibe coding is great.
Yes.
And as a professional programmer, my productivity has gone through the roof, and I don't have the other problem that other vibe coders have of they don't understand how their program works. So I can actually direct it in a direction that I can use.
I can't.
It's like whining that you're not sweeping the floors right because you're using a vacuum cleaner. You're just like, great.
Bro, that's a take, and I love that take. It is whining because you're not sweeping the floors right because you're using a vacuum cleaner.
Yes. It's very much
so
like
accurate.
That. And even in the context of like the AI bubble, I had this conversation with one of our team the other day, and I was like, I don't think it's in a bubble. Because 2 years ago, when everything was overvalued, it was a bubble. Because OpenAI makes $1 billion and is valued at $100 billion. That's bubble sort of valuation.
Yes.
Got that. Sure. Fine. Whatever. The economics don't work well. But like right this moment, if I look at Anthropic, and I was just like, if Anthropic right now Anthropic makes $30 billion. If they made me pay $200 a month to have access to Claude, would I pay it? And I'm like, yeah, I would totally
Yeah.
pay that tomorrow if they did that, which means that their revenue can go to 300 billion tomorrow if they wanted to flip that switch. And I'm just like, oh no, this probably isn't a bubble right now. They're probably fine. they've paid for all the servers. This has all gotten good now to where it's now indispensable. But if it was ChatGPT 3.5, I'd be like, I'll pay $50, $100 for it or something like that. But I'm not going to go from 20 to 200 or 2,000. But now it's a human equivalent where I'm like, I'll pay whatever the heck you want. I don't care.
Like, I now have 3 AI subscriptions because it's that useful.
Oh yeah. All right, which ones?
So I've got OpenAI because I use Codex predominantly. I've got Claude Code and I've got Gemini.
Okay.
Which do you prefer? Well, obviously you have Codex and Claude Code, but like, which one are you using most often?
I am using Codex mostly. I find OpenAI it's been easier and more consistent, but I do them with different jobs. So Claude, great for front end stuff. Codex is great for more technical, like diegetic breakdowns. Gemini is shit, but it's also like a backup. And I normally get them to work adversarially, where one of them will generate something, hand it off to Gemini, and then Gemini will give back their thoughts against what they already thought. Though Gemini is really good at image generation.
It's amazing.
I've got to give it to them
at image generation.
They've got Nano Banana and image generation and animations. Gemini every time.
Video generation and
terrible at that.
This is something where I have fallen so far behind as a business and as a person.
Come on, you don't know the AI tool this week?
No, dude. So I am fundamentally afraid to use like Claude Code or OpenClaw because we are so...
Don't use OpenClaw.
Okay, well...
Don't use OpenClaw.
We are so data security driven as a company that I worry that if I start going down this path of vibe coding, I'm going to leave a hole in it, and it's going to open us up to an ITAR violation. And like, oh my God, I don't want that, right? Because if it has access to our local network, in theory, it shouldn't have access to the ITAR computers, but it could if it finds a way to do it. And
oh, you're talking about the agents of just wandering around inside your system. And
basically,
that kind of
well, because one of the big things
that's why I said don't use OpenClaw.
Well, one of the big things we want to do right now is it has to. So the system that the thing I want to develop has to run a program locally. I wanted to take the video files that we have, all of our video files, and rename them of what is inside of the video file. What is it seeing? Yeah. But I wanted to use a string of characters. So whether that's numbers, letters, whatever, and then that goes to a Google Docs or a Google Excel spreadsheet. So we can view that spreadsheet anywhere in the world and say, okay, I'm looking for Grant looking at the Creality shredder and extruder combination. Instead of having to say, okay, well, he did that at Rapid. Where else did he do it? Go through that way. We can just boom, quickly find it. But that requires a level of access that I'm very uncomfortable with.
But that doesn't have anything to do with the ITAR stuff. You can put all your video files over on a separate server and let it just churn through them. And if it deletes them all, who cares? Well, just set it up again. Well,
I mean,
you have copies.
You feel better?
Yes.
We do have the technology.
Well, we have copies of everything but whatever's on this SSD.
Well, would it make you feel better if all of the like agentic AI agents play in a sandbox? They only get access to what you give them.
Ideally, that's what I want.
That's what they have. Base. You have to give it advanced permissions to access the rest of your system. I personally don't do that. I have it in a sandbox. I give it a folder and it can do all the work it needs to do within that folder. It never can contact the internet unless it asks, and it will ask for permissions, and it will give you these like permission, like read write requests if it determines it cannot do something unless you intervene. That's why I also said no OpenClaw, because OpenClaw was just, here is a computer, go do a thing. And it can just do anything.
You control it a little bit.
Well, we do have spare computers that I could put it on, and like that sounds kind of fun. But hilariously, I learned that a staff member of ours, their significant other, who has a background, a traditionally educated background in coding and that kind of thing, does some vibe coding and all that, is looking for an internship this summer. So I think I'm going to solve my problem this summer.
Do it.
Because, dude, I feel so far behind in all this because a lot of our like core marketing and editing team is so fundamentally anti-AI. It's like, no, they won't.
Yes.
They won't.
I mean,
touch
I've
it.
had words with them because they
I
need
know.
to stay up to date.
I know.
People need to use the tools that are available or fall behind. And it doesn't mean be lazy and just be like, I want Grant, Jacob, Fire, Bamboo, blah, blah, generate me an image. It still takes more effort.
Yes.
But it's a tool that can be used.
Yep. And I got to learn
Yes.
how to use the tool because in this workshop, the biggest tool, it's me. And in most workshops, you are the biggest tool. Even in like workshops like Duff and Devoid Colossus working where they're working around like huge machinery, they are still the biggest tool in their own workshops. Well, okay, so and I don't know. So there's the inside of that SSD. Jacob, do you even know about this? Have you been watching our videos? You probably have. 'cause you hate me.
I heard that one of your SSDs started to fail.
Started? No. It's dead.
Did it fully go?
It's gone.
Have you sent it in for repair yet? Because they will
Jacob,
be
it's
able to
literally
take the
sitting in my
NAND
hand.
chips.
What do you think?
Oh, well, you might have got it back by now.
No. So this is an enterprise SSD. Unfortunately, it might also have encrypted it.
That should be fine.
We're gonna find out.
If your actual NAND chips are safe and it's just like the memory controller is gone, or if it's like the caching controller is gone,
I don't know.
they can still stripe everything off of it, re-image a new drive, clone it over, and then it's still encrypted to the new drive.
I have
But
spares,
then you can plug
so-
it back in.
Yeah, I have spares, so we're good. It's gonna go off to Lewis Rossman sometime next week. Well, to Rossman Repair Group. I don't think Lewis is gonna specifically work on it, but yeah, it's got like a day and a half worth of footage on it that we never had a chance. It was here. I brought it back from Rocky and Rapid with the intention of plugging it into our system here and backing it up, and it failed. So we don't have a mirror. We are now going after some of these. Pocket Cloud is one of the ones I'm looking at. They've got a battery-powered SSD that when you dock it, it instantly copies itself to another SSD. So there's working on things, but the solution has to be portable. It has to be easily moved. It can't, there's... When you're dealing with portable RAID arrays, it becomes complicated. But nonetheless, this is like my first time dealing with like data loss because everything else here at the shop is minimally one full backup. Normally, it's at least 3 with one of them offsite. But this was not. Internet is a problem. But yeah, so back on topic here, Gabe. What would you say is the biggest lesson that you learned in growing and scaling Slant 3D that you never expected to be a lesson?
The fundamental advantage of 3D printing is the fundamental problem with it. You can make anything. So what do you make?
Okay.
Like every 3D printing company or service has to pick what is it that you make. Because everybody always says, I got 12 printers and I'm going to make whatever people want in the door. And that's how you ruin your life.
Yep.
That's one of the things, even though it's what the value of printing is and technically where it should end up, but it's not there yet. Because you just have infinity coming in the door and you can never get it built.
Yep.
So that was surprising to me because I thought that was kind of the fundamental value of it all, which it is, but yeah, it's what most folks overlook.
That's
It's a two-edged sword.
Yeah.
I mean, I've struggled with that one already because, like, when you're trying to show off what a printer can make at a show, what do you bring? Because you go into an engineering show, I do not want to show off more jigs and fixtures. The people walking around have seen enough jigs and fixtures to see a 3D printed jig and fixture in grey, black, beige, or white. I ain't doing that. But at the same time, you don't want to show anything else because it's not relevant.
Yes.
It's like a hammer. How do you show off a hammer? Everyone knows a hammer can hit a nail. How do you sell that hammer that's better than the others?
Yes.
I still haven't figured it out.
I'd love to give you the solution there. Like we have pretty much come down to the point that it's just about being louder. Like
Oh, I'm ready to go, baby.
It's like,
I'm gonna crank my DB all the way up.
like just is like just quantity, like just being so present that people can't ignore you in that kind of stuff. But again, being okay with like grabbing one customer at a time, like finding such a specific application that one person who cares about that really specific application comes to you because you answered the question that they were asking. Like, to be fair, like going back to Zellerfeld on this though too, Cornelius has talked about this. He's like, we make shoes, so we built a slicer for making shoes, and we made a machine for making shoes, and we've got material for making shoes, and shoes are enough that we don't need to be doing anything else. So we're never going to turn into a non-shoe making manufacturer of some sort, even though these printers, you can flip the nozzle and it'd do something else.
Yep.
But like there's so, again, kind of with the early nature of 3D printing, a lot of companies get into the trap of saying, I need to do more because there's not enough demand right now. And people kind of grow faster than they should. And this was even us. Like we overextended that diversification before it was ready. And like there are billions of parts that can be made with black PLA. It's fine. Make sure that you deliver on time with consistent quality.
Yep.
And you will be ahead of 95% of people.
Amen to that.
That's all you got to do.
Amen.
Yeah.
Jacob, in your specific case, going to these bigger industry shows where you're not like, okay, if you're going to a military convention, show off military stuff, print rocket engines.
I've been printing drone nose cones.
Ooh, those are good ones.
Yeah.
Like they go so expensive, and you're like, yeah, I made 4 today.
Yep.
There you go.
You know,
that's an entire wage in one day.
But like going to a big engineering show might not be worth it. And what your limitation here is your time, right? Gabe knows this. They had to scale the team so that it could make sense. You literally said, we're going to focus on B2C because B2B takes too much manpower. There's too few people that know the markets really well to understand what they're going to sustain for price. We're just going to go B2C and not worry about that shit because it's not worth it to us. We will make, yes, lower margin, but we're going to make a lot more lower margin. And we'll make a lot more parts. And you're up to how many machines now? Do you know?
What, us?
Yeah.
We're the main print farm spec'd out for 3,000. We haven't quite hit that yet. So we're a little bit short of that still.
God bless.
Yeah. If we can put in a second story, we can get to 5 inside the building. Because we got this building because we have 50,000 amps of power over on that wall. So we can put in Bitcoin mining or more printers, one or the other. And Bitcoin's not that great anymore.
Damn. No. I had a look at it again the other week. I'm like, maybe I should spool up my A6. And then I looked at him like, no.
So
I'm not going to do that.
We had a question earlier, and I'm not certain we want to answer it, but I'm going to ask it because they did pay $4.99 to get it seen. So view at your own risk, $4.99, saying what happens to 3D printing if the U.S. and China enter a full-scale war. My answer to that is that's the last thing I'm worried about if U.S. and China enter into full-scale war. But
I can answer it from my side.
Go for it.
Printing goes up. More printers will be needed because obviously everything that's happened in Ukraine. And for everyone who doesn't know, Ukraine has been buying US aid with data. It's the data of the conflict. Everything they do goes back to US. They ain't getting free aid, just for anyone who's questioning. It's all paid for by the combat itself. The first thing that everyone has said, all of Europe is spooling this up. All of the UK, and probably if America's been actually listening to the data they've been getting, printing distribution hubs for military arms and assistance was the #1 pivotal key thing that has allowed Ukraine to keep surviving. Any form of conflict, printing hubs will grow.
I agree with you. It's mainly been about the source of iteration, though, and you can get at that at a couple different directions. Printing is the most portable, but like cheapo drones that you can blow up a $10 million tank with, that's where everybody's landed.
But where do those come from?
Started to see that in the defense contract from a printer. Yeah.
Well, okay.
And
but where do the electronics come from?
Yes, this is a thing. This is a separate thing.
Yeah, that's so my concern, right? My concern is that the U.S. is not ready for that. We are not ready for a modern war. We are using old technology, which, don't get me wrong, it's effective, but it can't scale. We can't just make 10,000 Tomahawk cruise missiles overnight. If you have enough 3D printers, you can make 10,000 drones overnight without a problem. Strap a hand grenade to them and send them on a one-way mission. We've done this. Like, we're seeing it work overseas. The U.S. doesn't have the infrastructure that it needs to sustain this, and they know it. If we go with, even a full-scale trade war is going to be a problem here in the States. 3D printers are going to get astronomically more expensive, if not functionally impossible. You're going to have people buying them in Canada, driving them over into the United States, and selling them on the gray market like they do with medicine, right? Things are going to get a little bit iffy. But 3D printers are the last thing that I'm worried about. I'm worried about farming. I'm worried about crops. I'm worried about that kind of stuff well before I'm worried about 3D printing. We rely way too much on other countries for exporting their goods into our country, and China's one of the big ones. So that's my personal take
we're a
on
net
all of
exporter of like food and that kind of stuff. The infrastructure on that side is still pretty solid because most of the world still relies on us, including China the same direction there too, because they're on rocks.
that. Some of the food. Yes.
Well, yeah.
Corn and soybeans, we got you.
Yeah. It's true.
But yeah, I don't want to think about what happens.
In reality, it's probably just never going to happen because the world is too interlinked now to allow full-scale war.
Yep.
Because the moment anyone cuts their borders, the entire infrastructure of the world collapses.
Yeah,
I always wonder if that's true. If like we're so different at the state of society and civilization that it is any different. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel like that's
well,
what
look
every
at what's
single
happened with
previous
just
time
like
they
the
thought.
Strait of Hormuz closing. Like the moment a single waterway closed, most of the world started panicking. Imagine if it wasn't just a single strait, but it was both the Strait of Hormuz and
Panama
all
Canal.
of the other straits, like the Panama Canal. The entire world now burns. And that's not even war. That's just some shipping lanes shut down.
Oh, yeah. You could go just back to COVID, like freaking 2020.
Yeah.
Everything went to hell immediately.
But at the same Evergreen time, boat that got stuck, right?
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
In the Suez.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't realize how fragile the world economy is at the moment. And 3D printing is like a percent of a percent of a percent of a percent of all of this.
That's about enough orders of magnitude small. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, as Duff 3DP says, and where do you get the potash to help grow the crops? Exactly. Right. We can grow crops. We can't do it very well without fertilizer. We get a lot of our fertilizer from overseas. And I have to agree that I think the scale of war that a lot of people are concerned about is just not all that realistic. Is it possible? Sure. Anything's possible. But is it realistic? I don't think so. I think stronger minds will say, all right, whoa. Let's take our finger off the button right now and let's think about this strategically, because we're about to ruin the global economy. We'll be burning dollar bills for power, and then my Zimbabwe dollars, my million Zimbabwe dollar bills will all of a sudden have value again.
But yeah, I would say as the long and short answer, printers, from what we've already seen with Ukraine and their rebuilding plans,
crazy valuable.
What we've seen in Europe with their militarization efforts, the demand for printing is growing.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't be worried about the printing industry. It is just going to keep growing, especially as the technology becomes more mature.
Yeah.
But I would certainly say,
fair.
if you are worried about something like this, why don't you invest in machines that are open source, or you at least have control over what software is running on it? Have control over your equipment if you are worried about that kind of thing. That's all. You know, don't have machines that are needing to be cloud connected to function, because, buddy, that's a button. They no longer function. Gabe, do you guys run like a local network for your machines? How do you get your files to your machines?
So yeah, there's like 3 stacks of the software. You've got like the main API layer, which then connects to Teleport and everything else, all the front wrappers and stuff that run on the API.
Mm-hmm.
That API then feeds directly into Kraken, which is our production control software, which runs the farm. And it's communicating back and forth with the main API server and everything else of like, what is demand? Where's it coming from? What are we doing? So on and so forth. And then it routes it to the machines and orders the jobs and everything else there. So Kraken is the main brain of the factory. And then you have the firmware layer on the machines. There was a time when we tried building the machines to kind of be independently smart, like Raspberry Pi level smart, some sort of onboard computer that actually does something. Now we've gone the opposite direction. And I'm like, as close as I can get this to 3 motors on a metal frame, that's good. So that's what we're going for.
I am so with you. I am so with you. I can understand that it gets complicated. Like, so we run fully air gapped, right? All of our machines are air gapped. None of them are on networks, which is funny when some of them need to do updates, how the heck we actually handle that. I don't even know how to update the Snapmaker right now. I have no clue. I don't even know if you can do it over USB. I've never checked. But
it's fine. It's running fine. It doesn't need to have an update.
That's what I say. That's what I say. But you know, we've got I'll talk about this in a bit.
Oh, nice scanner.
It's one. I have serial number 79. That's how few of these are in the world. Yeah, it's the AI Scan 01.
Huh.
It's
I was
some
looking at that one.
it's some Kickstarter scanner.
It
But
looks good though.
I've got one of these now. The top cover, the real one.
Yeah.
There's only a few. There's not many of these in the world right now, and apparently you're supposed to update the firmware to use it properly. I don't know. Apparently,
Sorry,
Chris
what?
says you put the bin
Updating
file
the
on
firmware
the
to
USB.
put a lid on.
Well,
It's new. It's different. It's totally different.
It gives you, because the lid has a heater and a circulation fan in it.
Okay, no, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
That's more than just a piece of plastic.
Yep, I agree.
The maintenance won't work if you don't update the firmware.
Oh my God, what are you, John Deere?
Well, everyone assumes John Deere is still like a farming company. They're not.
No,
they're a data
They're a data company.
Yeah.
And farmers have turned into hackers, which I still think is the greatest move in American history of farmers learning how to hack their own equipment. I'm like, this is exactly what farmers would do. They're saying, well, we don't want this shit. So they learn how to code and they learn how to hack their equipment. And I think that is tremendous.
Oh, you're going to have a tremendous increase of just like analog machinery coming back on the line. Because like in like Caterpillars and bulldozers and that kind of stuff, the best ones are from 1985.
Hell yeah.
Just operationally, everything else. So there's these companies that are doing the repairs and keeping this old 10,000-year-old stuff working and machining the new parts. There'll be a whole row of brand new companies coming out that are just like, yeah, we made a tractor with an engine in it and it's got a carburetor
and a distributor.
And that'll be fine. Yeah.
Duff over here saying FDEF, that he used the full word, but I'm not saying it. Yeah, the diesel exhaust
DEF
fluid.
is the worst. That only works in the southern climates and screws everybody north of freaking.
It's just piss.
California.
It's piss for your exhaust.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. The what is it? The EPA is now allowing the bypasses again. And look, I live in Florida. We don't have smog control here, right? Like my car is 24 years old. It is back at the house, by the way, Jacob. It is running. I took it on a.
You got it running.
It's running. It's only throwing a couple of check engine lights, but that's fine. I knew about them. It has been in the shop since January, but it's been in a shop that, as at my local high school, where I've been able to work on my own car. So I've learned so much of how to work on this car myself. I'm very happy about that. But, dude, like the amount of computer stuff, even in this car, is incredible.
And that's the worst era of it too, is like those early 2000s kind of stuff. You're in the 90s, but like the early 2000s where they're like, computer might be something, we should stick it in there somewhere. And you're like, freaking you bastard.
It has Takata airbags, man. So if I'm dying like a man. It's a 2002 Honda Accord V6. It's running on all 6 cylinders. Was only running on 2 for a bit there. Well, okay. I didn't know this, but apparently when you go to clean your injectors, you can actually clog them. Because you're going to dislodge the crap that's inside of the injectors, and then it's going to get stuck to the opening of the injector, and it's not going to fire. So when you put your entire car back together and start it up and it only runs on 2 cylinders and you're not getting a misfire code, it's because there's no fuel for it to misfire.
Okay.
But now
Okay.
we're running on all 6 now. Hey, nothing a little Fabuloso and Seafoam didn't fix. All right? Going back to, oh, it smelled so good.
The olden days.
Yeah, man, yeah. But yeah, it's put an index in my VTech video series was really weird. I did not do that, but I used the Instagram stories as a way to kind of update on the car. Chris says the only way to really clean injectors is full disassembly. I don't even know how to do that. But I love having that knowledge because in the event that something goes wrong, I at least have basic knowledge of how to fix my car. If there's an EMP, my car's screwed anyways. But I know so much more about fixing cars, and I think that is so valuable from just this noise doesn't sound right. Where's it coming from and why? And boy, howdy, do we learn that the hard way with 3D printing.
Yeah. It makes you fairly independent about working on stuff.
The first time you had a bearing go bad on you? Or
That,
the first time you applied too much lube to a bearing and it got everywhere, so you decided, F this, we're going to build a product? I'm literally underhanding throwing this to you. Please take this. Please take this.
I'm not taking it. Yeah, we work pretty well on building our own machines.
No, the oil stick.
The oil stick. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing. Yeah. We got the oil stick. It's pretty good. You can get it at oilstick.shop. Here's the
do it. If you're in the
plug
chat,
yourself.
But
yeah,
here's
pip
the
yourself,
thing.
man.
Yes.
You're here for that.
No, I'm here to talk about stuff. But yeah, the oil stick. The oil stick is amazing. Thanks, Grant. Let's segue into this. No, the oil stick is something that we did. We built it like last fall because we've been using oil bottles and spray bottles and rags and everything else for wiping things. And we were just like, I told everybody, I'm like, you can see it in like the metrics of the farm because I'm like, everybody doesn't want to do this job. So even when it's scheduled, it's not done and everybody's miserable. And whenever anybody is miserable, you got to change everything about it because if you're suffering through it, people just burn out. So we started working on it. And then I think it was literally just like the TikTok or Twitter gods or something like that fed me like a couple of little nuggets that I was just like, oh, that's almost right. That like a paintbrush of stuff on there. That's correct. But how do we feed the paintbrush? And then we found a way of getting these things made and loading up these sticks that are just a brush. You twist the back of it, loads up the brush with oil. You swipe the brush onto the rail, and then you spread your oil, and it doesn't drip on the bed. You don't have to clean up a mess. You're not wiping stuff down. You just go swipe all your rails, wipe all your rails, and then you get all the machines done. And it's almost kind of satisfying because now you have this nice little ASMR twist. All the rest of it. Do I have one on my desk? I'll really plug this one. Nope, don't have one on my desk. I'm a terrible salesman.
Oh, we're all bad at this. Don't worry. I can ask Jacob if he's got a bottle of All Clean on his desk, and I would almost get
exactly.
Does he have one handy?
He's got it.
Does he have one handy?
God, no. Of course. I'm not fed. I have a sleeve.
Okay,
I have a sleeve.
There you go. You got the
There's a
package
sleeve.
available, ready to go. But yeah, the oil stick. Turn that loose. It's really weird because we didn't think it was going to be that big. I was just like, people will use it or not. It'll be one of these niche things. But like over the last month, we've already spun it off onto a separate site because we're like, it needs to be a different thing. And we're working to get it into retail here in about the next 2 months or so. So it'll be maybe in Best Buy in about 2 to 3 months if we're timing it all right. So it'll be pretty sweet. Yeah. Turned out okay. And it was really interesting to me because I was just like, oh, 3D printing has matured now to where there is an accessories market for the machines that people are really not leaning into. Because we have literally talked about a bed white kit and that kind of stuff. So Jacob, you're like in the perfect spot right now. So I'm just like,
we're doing white labeling. Just saying.
All right, well,
we've got global exclusive supply to this chemical. It's the only one that works for PEI beds. So I'm just saying.
Well, what happens when we go to war with Europe or whatever it is? Then
they're not in Europe.
Oh, it's fine.
They're not in Europe.
I'm not in Europe.
He's in
that's
the
right.
UK. They're not part of Europe.
I can play both sides because I'm both a European citizen
I don't know what
and a non-European citizen. I can do whatever I want, and if I need to, I'm buying a shipping barge and I'm turning my factory onto that to be on international waters.
Oh, good. You're going to be like, what what's the island on the?
Yeah, it's off the UK.
Oh my God,
it's like
what's
off of Scotland, isn't it?
Yes, the guy that
Oh.
sells
Oh, the one with
Lord
the
titles.
fort.
It's on an oil rig. Oh my
It's
God,
an
what's
old
it called?
oil rig off of
Yes.
Scotland, I think.
Someone's
The
gonna tell us
smallest
this.
nation.
Come on, chat, figure this out. We
Yes,
need to-
all clean is safe on ceramic.
Oh, nice.
Can I choose all clean on my dishwasher? No.
Yes, I do it
I'm
already.
sure I can.
It does a great job. I actually use it mostly for house cleaning
Sealand.
now
It's
because it
Sealand.
cleans
Thank you,
everything
Zaxman.
so well.
Sealand. Sealand is you can become a lord of Sealand, but Jacob's already a lord. His last name is Lord. Yeah, it's too good.
Got it covered. That's how that worked back in the history. Back in some days, you had someone who was a lord in your family.
Yep.
It was just like, I'm just gonna be Lord, and live my life like this. Lord and Lady Lord.
It's going to be great. But unfortunately, I am changing my last name.
Why?
I'm going to be double barreling it with Rosie's because obviously my last name is Jacob Lord. Rosie's is Rosie King. And it's just too funny to get rid of that like dynamic. So it's going to be Lord King.
Lord.
No. It's got to be Lord King.
Let's bring it.
It's in the right order.
That's worth the paperwork.
Our
Right
egos
there.
are going to explode. Because you're going to go to the hospital and they're going to be like, Lord King Jacob. I'm like, oh, yes, that's me.
Your wardrobe isn't posh enough for this.
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to love it.
Damn it. I wasn't supporting this right up until I remembered that her last name was King, and okay, fine.
Now it's
I
okay.
support it for nothing more than the memes.
It's just for the memes. It's such a good, like, we've already made all the jokes of a lord and a king are dating each other. And now it's just like, yes, just smush them together. We got to keep the meme going. It's too funny.
So, all right, we've had the question asked a few times, so I got to ask it. Power bill. How rough is it with all these machines and not bad?
Power bill is the most overrated concern about the cost of running a print farm.
Really?
In all fairness, we're in Idaho. We have cheap hydro. Like we're not down in
Wait, how cheap?
like 6 cents.
Oh my
screw
God,
you.
that's cheap.
Screw you.
Yeah.
I'm paying
I said Bitcoin mining
27
operation.
pence,
I'm at 16,
which is about
and-
33 cents.
16 in California, it's like 50.
Yeah.
It's like, we've got it so good up here.
I thought I
And
was
we're
good at
on commercial
16.
rates, so it might be even lower. But to be fair, we got like a load of data centers coming in or something like that are going to jack with all of it for me here in about 2 years. So we'll deal with that. But even at 16 cents, like on the full farm scale, again, with like people or operations or even like print failure or something like that, power is not one of my top 10 of things that I worry about on all of this stuff. There's so many other levers with greater leverage that we should be thinking about. So we're just like, power is what it is.
It is so funny when people, like, we've had this question like 5 or 6 times already. They're like, how much is a power bill? I'm like, I doubt he even cares. Like the power bill, dude, that's lower than taking the entire company out to lunch, right? Like it's even at my rates, it's cheaper than taking the entire company out to lunch. It's
exactly.
It doesn't make sense. I feel like the industry at large, like the people that are starting print farms, are kind of this penny wise and dollar stupid, where they're very concerned about things like power draw. Don't get me wrong. Power draw, machine wear and tear, those are things you should track. But if they are one of the top 5 things in your list of expenses, you're too damn cheap.
Yes. Oh, that's universal.
I mean, to put
3D printing is general. I don't know what it is about engineers, but they know how to do the math, but they do it the worst way possible to where they're not considering the things that are the really important stuff. So
like, to put a perspective for everyone, the only thing you're really wasting in terms of running a printer is the heat you put into the plastic and the heat that you leave from the machine. And that's not a lot, because a lot of these printers don't waste a lot of heat. Like you can average like a high-speed printer at 100 watts.
Do you guys?
They're not high power.
Do you guys have to turn on the heat during the winter?
Yes, but we use gas because it's cheaper than electricity there.
I figured with all those machines, they must produce enough heat.
part of it is the architecture of our building. Our ceilings are 50 feet high.
Oh, well, see, there's your problem.
So we had to, there's your problem.
Yeah.
Like we have to force a bunch of heat down, and even with fans and all the rest of it, like just the thing I always say is like the building is the enclosure. So like we have to have complete control of the entire space all the time. So yes, we do heat the building during the winter because all of it's going straight up in the air.
I've never turned on the heat.
Yeah, well, you guys never need to turn on the heat. You're like, oh my gosh, it's 60 degrees. It's so frigid out here right now. Can't go outside. I need a jacket.
Hey,
I'm
man.
like,
all right.
If it's 35,
It
I'm
is
going
funny.
for a jog. And
Every
playing
time
golf.
Grant comes out to the UK and he's like, it's so cold, and I'm just there in a t-shirt being like,
yeah,
it's like 16 degrees. It's
Yes.
not bad.
But
I
how
can
many of
live
you
with
ride an
that.
alligator to work? Exactly.
that's right. This is true.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't go jet skiing on them neither, or whatever it was. You just grab a couple. When you lose a ski, you just catch up another one.
I mean,
run
yeah,
around there.
isn't that how skis are made?
I've heard they're
Yeah.
free, so you could just take them anyway. Like, nobody owns them.
They're much easier to catch right now because we're in a crazy drought and all the friggin' lakes are drying up. So they have nowhere
so
to
they're
go.
on the move.
Dude, they're ending up. So they need water to help regulate their body temperature. So where are
Yeah.
they going?
The swimming pools.
Yep. Yep.
They're like, oh, chlorine bath, all the rest of it, just hanging out. There we go.
So the
Gonna clean my
reports
scales,
the
have a
reports
dip.
of gators in swimming pools has gone up a lot.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, the local lakes around me, almost all completely dry. We have
Really?
the Peace River here in Pasco County. It has already partially dried up and is in danger of fully drying up, which will cause a massive fish die off. And oh yeah, like it's
You guys are just praying for a hurricane.
okay, kind of.
We need the water.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Honestly, I'll take a tropical storm for a couple of days, man. It's no big deal. Your tropical storms, they're great for trimming the trees. They're great for they take all the tiny limbs out. I don't got to deal with it
Just
anymore. It's great.
Take all the weak parts away.
J.E. Palmer says there's no gator net. Have you seen gators climb? They don't care. They'll climb the fence, man. I've seen gators climb fences before.
You've seen gators? Really?
Oh yeah.
What's one of those
absolutely.
things look like when they try to tip over the top there? How do they even get that?
Please
done?
tell me they just flop.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They just,
Yeah.
Please tell me.
yeah.
Oh,
They're not
wow.
very flexible, so they'll kind of get
Yeah.
to that teetering point. And then you just kind of see them, jiggle a little bit. Then it's like, boom.
Are their legs when they're at the teetering point? Their legs can still reach the edge to get them off because I think they just
No.
balance.
Well, it depends on the size of the gator, right? So the bigger the gator, the more it's kind of like seesawing itself.
Yeah.
But see, then you have to also look at, is your fence strong enough to support a large gator?
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
It's like,
See, now I just have the image of just a gator just like smashing
hung
through
up
it,
there.
just completely ignoring, just like
Kool-Aid
I'm
Man in
here
your
now.
fence. It's like I was at
Yep.
Busch Gardens with some buddies. Carl, Elena, Amber came with us as well, hanging out with them. They're from Maryland, good friends. They were down here hanging out in Florida, and for decades they have an alligator enclosure, right? So people can see alligators, like it's just another lake. For decades, it was a waist-high fence. That was it, right? Because the gators are so well fed, they didn't care to go anywhere else, right? It's like they just found their way there. A couple of them were, injured and all that. They have now put up a 8-foot tall, at least, solid steel fence with steel chain links, and I would assume it's electrified because it's all made out of steel. Not for the gators. Someone jumped the fence.
Keep people out of it.
Yep. The gators, homie, yeah, they're like 10 feet long. They are fed so well, they don't want to leave. They don't have a desire to leave. I'm like, yeah, that's a people fence. That's not a gator fence. Fence is not there for the animals. It's there for the people.
Freaking liability of people around.
Oh yeah, we don't need another
man.
Harambe situation. Okay, all right, we're all still reeling from that. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
So, all right, you're about 50-foot ceilings. I can't see. That's the thing I can't imagine in Florida.
It used to be a train factory. So we used to have three
that makes
train
sense.
engines parked inside of our building. And they had big old doors coming in, and they had this big old 50-foot crane that'd load over the top of them and drop an engine in the
that's
train
so
or whatever they did.
cool.
Do you still have
It's
the crane?
cool. We still have the crane.
Yeah. Does it work?
Yes.
It still works. I have the remote. I'm not allowed to turn it on.
Why not? No, first thing I'm doing is getting that crane working.
We thought so too. We're like, we're gonna have a swing and an elevator and everything. We're just gonna ride it around. And then we're like, oh, that'll probably
Buddy,
jack
the
up our
video
electric
to
bill
pay
more than
you-
running our print farm.
Dude, the money I have paying your rent right now. I've got it. Okay.
This
that
is
crane.
fair. This is
That crane's got to get back up and running again, and we need you reenacting Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball. Okay.
Wrecking Ball.
Right? And just
You know,
like an
the
old
biggest
part of the
thing-
print
There
farm.
has been a major celebrity on the crane. Micro did a Dirty Jobs episode in our building
Really?
on that crane. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It was sick.
Is it signed?
It's what the episode? Oh
Well, no,
no,
it's the crane
no.
side.
He wasn't big back then. He
Oh,
wasn't big back
okay.
then. He was just wandering by. They didn't think about it. Who knows?
So do you still have all the tracks in there then?
Yeah. We still have the rails right up to the building. What was funny was like when we first moved into the building, we thought we're going to use that crane because we thought we were going to build print farms in pods. We were going to build shipping containers full of printers and drop them in RV parks across the country.
That's what I'm doing.
And I was just like, that's what we're going to do. And then I realized it was too small. Literally, like that year, we had a year where I'm like, we're never going to build a print farm under 500 machines ever. So we were just like, well, don't get to use that idea anymore. But yeah, it was just the transition where we thought, oh, this building's going to be amazing. We can put them on rails and the trains can take them to wherever we want them. And none of that's going to happen now. And the rails have been torn up into the main complex because the entire campus that we're on now was the full train factory. So they had all the 1-inch steel plates getting cut over there and the trains finish up
so
here.
Cool.
It was pretty nifty. But now it's a fire truck building place and then us over on the side.
Still
So,
pretty cool. Still pretty
cool. Don't need the rails as much, and they're paving over them, so it won't be trains coming back in here.
Oh, that's
So-
sad.
So you can't
It's a little
get
sad.
filament pellets by the train load anymore.
No, we can get them close. We can get them like going. We have the train literally about 50 feet that direction from our building. Goes by every single day.
So you can do what the Vigo rice factory does. If you go to like your grocery store and you see like the packages of yellow rice that say Vigo on them, it's made here in Tampa. They have a train line that runs right next to them, right? And they use a massive vacuum system to vacuum the rice out of the train. The thing is, it produces so much static electricity that they have to ground it, and even then, 25-foot minimum, so that you don't get zapped.
Yep.
But it's
This is the problem with like all the grain elevators in the Midwest. They'd blow themselves up all the time until they figured out that little problem.
static, bit of a problem.
Yes. Yeah. Well, they'd set off all the dust inside of the grain silos too. It's not hilarious, but it's kind of hilarious.
I mean, yeah,
It is hilarious.
It's like how we figured out you needed to wash hands to do surgery. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, I know. What a crazy idea.
Yeah. Oh, gee. Okay, so you're in an old train factory, 50-foot high ceiling, so you could easily add, if not a second floor, if not a third floor.
Yes. I don't know if we'd ever go that dense because it turns into kind of a logistics problem of just like where do the parts go? If we built the second
Lifts.
story, basically, but even then it's a little rough. If we did a second story, we'd probably put all the printers on ground floor. Well, actually, I don't know because I don't want them on ground floor because if you catch a fire or something, then the whole building goes. But if we put it on the top story, we'll just lose the roof. So I don't know. One of these problems of how do you architect a print farm correctly is one of these joys. Yeah, basically a single floor would be like post-processing and shipping, that kind of stuff. And then this other story would be just machines entirely with bots pulling the parts.
Dude, I would love
yeah.
nothing more than to have that kind of space. It's like literally
It's just nice.
we're looking at shipping containers because they don't blow away in hurricanes. And I
This
can
is
put
fair.
multiple containers next to each other. I don't care. The staff don't care. Quite frankly, they're probably happier because they don't have to listen to my dumbass talk all the time. You know,
And then you open up the doors in the morning and the air is chewy as it comes out.
yeah.
Just a small waft.
I mean, but you know, so we had it was a steel building in my backyard. We were going to move the business into that, at least temporarily. I was told when we bought that, so we're on 2 acres. It's not like a small piece of property in like a residential neighborhood or anything, but it was a 20 by 20 foot steel shed. And we were in between locations. And the idea was that we would move into that. We would scale down a little bit, but really hyper specialize. about 3 months before we were looking to make that full move, Hurricane Milton came through and blew the shed away. It was an all steel building, 20 by 20 by 15 feet. So like more than capable. You know, I had all in CAD to do 4 rows of printers, double side. We would have been able to put like 300 or 400 printers in that very, very small location. And we even had the power out there to do it.
Yeah.
But unbeknownst to me, it was not, in fact, stuck down to the ground very well. It was not stuck down to the ground at all.
Oh, it was just
It was just sitting there. The guy who bought the house from said that the shed was properly, you know,
foundation.
Well, not a full foundation because it's agriculture,
but concrete pillars into the ground or whatever it was. Yeah.
That, in fact, was not the case.
No wonder it went on a little flying trip.
How come it didn't just sink away? Aren't you guys down in a swamp down there?
We are actually.
How's that even stay up?
We're actually pretty high up in this area of Florida.
Okay.
We're about 190 feet above sea level.
Yeah, those mountains.
Dude, bro, I'm telling you. Hey, look, the snowbirds come out to my area to train for cycling because in the winter, more than comfortable, and we have some decent hills out here. There's only a few of them. We have a couple.
Some of them are like 200 feet high, man. You get a real good like 2% grade.
Hey, around the corner from me, we've got a sign for Lehup Hill, Lehup Hill. It is the second or third highest point in Florida at 220 feet above sea level. There's a sign for it.
You might survive it when an iceberg breaks off or whatever it is and not be.
Look, my brother's girlfriend, her house was 6 feet above sea level.
Oh my gosh.
And was built,
no.
It was built in the late 60s. It flooded both during
Florida's
Milton
gonna
and
drown.
rain, but it had never flooded before. It had been there since the 60s, and it had never flooded until this, 2 years ago, hurricane season.
Well, ain't gonna be coming back up from that water soon.
No, they fixed up the house. They gutted it, renovated it, and sold it. So it's not his problem anymore.
And they can't get flood insurance on it anymore because there's no way that's gonna get signed.
I bet somebody will sign it for a crazy, crazy premium.
Oh, you sure could do a crazy premium, but yeah.
Speaking of premiums, insurance.
How
do you guys handle insurance out there?
Oh, we're a manufacturing company. It's still the same as if you were running CNC machines and that kind of stuff. Again, like there's no like separate delineation for 3D printing because nobody knows of it as any different than a CNC machine.
Right.
So it just is. The biggest part of that though is that like for us with insurance, with like employee insurance, since they're CNC machines, they're rated as dangerous as a CNC machine. But not many people are going to have their arm torn off by a 3D printer. So that's kind of a stupidness in it, but I can't say that, they're PCs or something, or it's not an office job or even really a warehouse job. So we say they're CNC machines. But
that's smart.
As the world changes, but yeah.
Because like insurance is the one thing that like we have a very hard time getting because when they find out, they're 3D printers, they're like, you're just going to make guns with them. No, we're not. And you literally.
And the insurance is getting you for that?
Weird. No, no. We had one give us insurance, but then very clearly I learned that they thought that we did 2D printing. So I canceled that policy because it wasn't going to cover anything if it happened. Yeah, 3D printing is kind of a crazy one. Manufacturing is absolutely the way to do it.
Yeah.
You are zoned for it. Where we're not zoned for it. So yeah, we have to. I'll find a way around it, but right now we just self-insure, and it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I do see we have 144 people watching, 54 likes. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to look at the pinned chat message to enter to win some filament and all of that. Check out Slant 3D as well, and of course, all the other sponsors' links are in that description. Insurance is a challenge in this industry.
Yes.
Do you guys self-insure the machines themselves?
Oh no, the equipment is insured up to a certain level, because it's still equipment and like at least the stuff of it but it's weird. Well, the equipment's insured to the value of the parts going into it. So the weird sort of financial trick with building our own machines, it's twofold. They never fully depreciate.
Right.
They depreciate back down to the cost of raw components. So rather than having a machine that is thrown away, we go back down to what did we pay for it initially minus labor. So the only loss from a machine is like the chip and the labor that went into the machine to build it initially. But when you're insuring it, you're insuring inventory.
Right.
So our machines stand as inventory, not as machinery, which undervalues them, but also makes them easier to insure because it's like, well, we happen to store aluminum extrusion in this format. So that's what it kind of happens. But it's kind of a weird financial trick of print farms when you make your own machines, that the machinery is no longer machinery, it's inventory. Because we can upcycle a machine into the new generation whenever we do it.
That is the big
That's a
benefit
really
of making
good
your
way
own
to do
machines. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just upcycle.
Yeah, so long as we maintain our backwards compatibility or like core kind of architecture. And like, yeah, the aluminum extrusion is not going to go bad for another 200 years. So we can do this a few times.
So do you think that the future is going to be that size of machine?
I know, well, whenever I have those kind of questions, I always kind of go back to molding of like, what is the most common molded part? And I cannot think of many molded parts that are bigger than your fist. So
yeah,
within 3D printing, I'm like, we're pretty good because those are the objects that a person can hold in their hand.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the largest object that would ever be made. If it becomes no longer held in someone's hand, then the market just decreased a ton, or you segment it up. So I'm pretty good with this build volume. And the problem with printing is that as you get bigger, you have the square law to where you've got a bigger part with exponentially more failures, exponentially higher cost with a failure, and exponentially more tool moves to cause a failure. So I don't see the value of increasing the size at this stage of the world. Because right now that breadbox 220 is just kind of the optimum level for cost, scale, everything, reliability, everything.
So how do you deal with having so many machines with parts finishing? Do you just come along, take them off the plate and put them in, or do you have a more automated system? I know me personally, I've been looking into just getting racks upon racks of baby belt, like Core XY printers, but with a baby belt to eject them out.
You're saying like a motorized baby belt or just a passive one?
Just a passive one.
Okay.
So it prints like a regular printer and then it just conveyors off and it starts again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But you have a motor attached to the conveyor on side of that.
Automated build platforms on the Thingomatics back in the day.
I think that's an overcomplication of the machine. The way we went at it when we were first designing our machines, we were just like, okay, these machines have to be able to remove the parts themselves for us to scale. It's impossible to have a person pull the part. We pull parts for print on demand. So if a teleport order comes in, those parts have to be pulled because we have direct tracking. So either a person or a robot will grab the part, place it into a barcoded box so that we have full tracking and history of that part forever. For production projects where we make like 1,000 parts at a time, that was the first thing we built, which was how do we design a machine that is designed for ejection? And the conveyor machines were up there, but we thought we would build a conveyor machine that just has a bed that just has free rollers on either side. And as you put the head would push the part and then the conveyor would clear space on it. The problem with conveyors kind of fundamentally is number one, they overcomplicate the machine for the amount of value they provide, especially if you add a motor there. Also, the flexible material to use for that bed doesn't fully adhere to the base or peels at the edges, all these other things, just the controllability of it went down. And ultimately we got to the point where it's like every single material has something that it sticks to at an appropriate temperature and condition. So we are just going to turn to material science and make sure that when hot, bed part stick, and when cold, part not stick as much. And then we'll have the rest of the machine architected to eject the parts. So like for us, the y-axis of the machine is kind of overpowered. Like there is a larger NEMA motor on the y-axis to ensure that it is tough enough to remove whatever part we want off of there.
Yeah.
But now you're in an analysis mode of like, can that part be ejected? And this is like part of the weird quoting process that we have that we increasingly get automated. Like, is the height relative to the base contact area appropriate for ejection so that this is mass producible? Else we got to manually remove those kind of things. So it's a weirdness inside of there. But for us, overall, the production side of the business where you make 1,000, 10,000, or 1,000,000 parts for a client, I'm moving away from that. I don't like that model because we all know where it ends up, because molding
Injection
has
molding.
done this already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You end up with 3% net margins and going broke every 3 years.
Yep.
Yep.
So I'm like, why would I want to accelerate my business that direction? It was good 5 years ago when printing was kind of up and coming and people were figuring it out. But now everybody's kind of on this trend. And I'm like, I don't want to make a 3D printing injection molding machine. And ultimately, the huge technological unlock of printing is that it should be able to make anything on demand. It can't, but it should be able to do that. We've got a few things to have to work out because you have infinity of ideas coming through. But there's a way of eating that elephant. So we're moving increasingly towards print on demand. Plus, the economics of that are just better for companies because they have zero upfront cost, perfectly matched quantities and controls.
Yep.
They know where it is. You have zero waste, and you eliminate warehousing and shipping and downstream, everything. Like all of the advantages of printing start to come through if a company commits to print on demand. The per part cost is higher, but the per part cost for injection molding is higher too.
It's crazy.
It's just
high.
people don't have to amortize the mold or the warehousing or the boat or any of the rest of it. They're just like, oh, it costs 50 cents a part and it's not my job. Somebody else gets it shipped. So my department is cheaper now. And I'm just like, that's not how any of that worked, but sure, we'll run that way.
It's the
I don't get to
holistic
say that.
whole.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But very few companies have a holistic whole. They have their department, their budget. But then if you're like, okay, we're not going to deal with the big companies who don't know how to do value stream math, then you're working with startups, and startups are going to go out of business 9 out of 10 times. So you're in this catch-22 of like, how do you do it? And just the market overall needs to mature to where you can churn through 9 or 10 startups as they start to be successful. Because like we think about ourselves a little bit like AWS. AWS was a great internal tool. They scaled it up, let other people started using it. And the first big users were Airbnb and Uber, who had no money and were like, I don't want to run servers. And then finally they flipped to Netflix, which was just a slightly larger startup over. And then enterprise started moving.
Yep.
But even right now, 20 years on or 15, however long it's been, they're still trying to flip over Coke and Pepsi and the rest of them all to AWS. And it's just going to take 10 or 20 years. And in our industry, we're not even 20 years old yet. 3D printing, yeah, it was created in 1985. That doesn't count. 3D printing started in 2010.
Yeah. All right,
I'll give you that. I'll
Yeah.
give you that. Fine. Technically, no.
Yes.
But realistically, yes.
Yes. Yes. To where it became more viable as something other than a prototyper. It became consumer electronics. It became print on demand, all these other business models, production.
Then that was 2020, right? COVID came at a perfect time to show the value of this industry and our ability to quickly, just spin up manufacturing, right? The whole masks and face shields and things.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody whiffed it on that. I don't think
They
the printing industry leveraged that enough.
No, they didn't.
I know we did.
Oh no, they massively whiffed it. Gabe, do you know what I did during the COVID saga?
No, what was that?
So I was part of a group called N3DPS. I was voluntold by my mum because I had a load of printers to help out with the PPE shortage, printing the face shields. I was quickly my job title was just technician, where I was designing the files for people, and it quickly changed to lead technician and then lead designer because I was the only one who knew how to 3D model. And we redesigned the Verkistan headband design, and then that became the more popular one. So obviously there was the Prusa design, there was the one from America, which I can never remember the name of, and then there was the N3DPS, internally codenamed Mu because it was iteration 50 something. And then we partnered with IGUS. So we had a factory location where everyone can send parts in, and then the entirety of the UK's network would print these bands to go to IGUS. They then distribute them off. But it was a mad, there's no material anymore. There's no nothing anymore. But we saw these snippets of how powerful the printers could be in an emergency situation where we got 90,000 headbands made in basically a month, which is a lot. Yeah. When you're considering it's just distributed manufacturing. But we were able to snap that going. The companies all worked together. It was great. And then after it all died down and it all settled, I just was left with that feeling of we could have done so much more. If there was like an actual system in place, printers could have been the #1 manufacturing solution for the entirety of this pandemic.
And probably would
sure.
still be doing
And
it
they
to this
didn't.
day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think about it on like the commercial side. We all did the masks and that kind of stuff, but then didn't level or re-up that into other things. Like I kick myself in the teeth every day because I'm just like, I walked through Walmart and there was nothing on the shelves. And if I had just fought a little bit to go find the buyers, I would have been like, I can refill all of your shelves here next week with whatever fishing lure you want because they're not coming over. And we didn't push that hard enough. So like there was that moment that we all just didn't do it enough.
Hey man, season 2, episode 1 is right around the corner, and we got to just be ready to say, well, we screwed up last time. Let's not do it again, because we know everybody else is going to screw up. But how do we as businesses capitalize on that? Be like, new here? Not my first rodeo.
Exactly. I'm amazed at how much people have forgotten COVID already.
Mhm.
I like even when people talk about like general supply chains and that kind of thing, I'm just like, I remember COVID. Everybody's like, why do you build your own machines? I'm like, I was here in 2020.
Yep.
We got to keep on building machines because I just moved to a different motor manufacturer. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have a tough time getting more bamboos the next time COVID whacks.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just like, it's so few of the lessons were learned, and then they got everybody built a binder of plans during COVID of like, how do we in-source manufacturing? And then those sat on the shelf after it all kind of settled out after 6 months. Did nothing with it, and then tariffs hit the last 2 years, and now everybody's pulled that binder and is like, okay, what are we kind of doing now? Because it seems like we're gonna get effed with kind of on the regular now, so we might want to try something here.
Yep.
So now the plans are finally starting to be seriously implemented. In a way that they just didn't after COVID. Everybody's just like, yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, that's where the I don't want to say the good old boys, because then we're comparing ourselves, to the operators in their 60s, but the seasoned veterans, right? Where we're like, no, man, we've just been waiting for this. We're ready to go. As soon as I got wind that material costs were going up, I doubled my inventory. Like, no, I'm not dealing with that. I don't care if it is conjecture that I'm hearing from a fifth party. I'm gonna buy it.
The opportunity cost is too much.
Absolutely.
As opposed to holding inventory for a week. Yeah.
And the space for a couple 100 kilos of filament is nothing. Right? It's not bad, especially when they're in boxes. You can, put them up on shelves, behind machines, whatever. They end up it ends up easily going into your system. What sucks is when you need something and it's out of stock, or it's eating into your profit margins too much where you can't afford to do this anymore. And oh my God, it's very, very funny to like say, people like, oh, I need bamboo filament. Can you sell it at bamboo's prices? I'm like, no, and no, I'm not doing that. Well, but I'm running a small business. I feel for you, but I'm sorry.
Should have had contingencies.
We have 5 different manufacturers that we work with for materials, and they are tiered,
which is a bunch.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. It's more than just ourselves. Right, we're not running our own lines.
Well, we use other manufacturers too, but we only have like 3 of people who we will actually are qualified to run it. Oh. Yeah, exactly.
Like the less suppliers, other than the oh god, one of them failed, I need a backup, you can have. The more you can optimize for that. Like every time we got a new supplier and just to test their material, it shut down production. To try and make sure the material was qualified.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to be messing with suppliers. I want the same material every time, no change. And if there's a problem, I'm going to my backup, and that's it.
Oh, if I look at our history, like back in like the 2017, 18, 19 era, when we were first getting going, I was just like 90% of the jobs that we screwed up or missed out on was because the material that I ordered that was black was not the black that was the last black I got. Yep. And I'm just like freaking over this. Or it took 6 weeks for him to get here or anything else, all the problems. I was just like, guys, this is not filament extrusion. If you're really good at it, it can be an art, but it's not that hard.
It's not.
We are not that good at it, but like we are good enough to get by and get all of our stuff done and have the same color
the
black
bar
every
for
time.
competency is quite low.
Yes.
Can you run a machine? Yes. Can you use basic tolerance tools? Yes. Cool. Run that machine. Go.
Exactly.
The machine tells you
And-
if it's in or out of spec. All you gotta do is be able to read.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those types of things.
And
It's so easy.
You need a pulse and a basic reading education to know, is that number within the numbers it should be? Yes? Good. If it's alarming, let's make a phone call.
I'll tell you, when an extruder starts to go south, one of the big filament extrusion lines, they are very subtle in some of the signals that they give to you as to why they're suddenly not putting that number where it needs to go to. You're just like, "Well, is the temperature in zone 4, or is the screw dirty, or did we just get a contamination in there, or did the colorant jack with us or something like that?" It is amazing to me. Like, we introduced gray. Gray has a completely different extrusion profile from extruding with black.
Yep.
Exactly like if you were using it on a printer. But I'm just like, freaking, this was supposed to be a big old 1-inch die thing that doesn't supposed to care about this 0.1% colorant that we dropped into it. Why am I having to deal with this? But I got to deal with it.
Yep.
And I'm just like, this is freaking irritating. But yeah, the production can get worse if something starts to go wrong. But when it's running, it's nothing. We run lights out when Tangled, the extruder, is running. We will run 2 weeks continuously. That extruder will build up the inventory for however long we need it, and then we'll shut it down, and that's done for a week or 2 or something like that. So it's so fantastically efficient and automatable once it's running.
Do you have robots to do the spooling?
No, we had robots. We had a cobot arm one time that did spool removal for a minute, because it wasn't actually that good. But then we found out, oh, the solution to this is big spool. So the
Okay.
spoolers, if you
Yeah.
look at a filament manufacturer, they have some guy at the end pulling off 1 kg spools. And I was just like, how about we put a 200 kg spool at the end of this line and just fill that up? And it'll spool there for a few hours, and you don't need people around.
I
And
think we
that
need a
was
forklift.
automation. Exactly. And you know what? Forklifts are pretty common and easy and understood compared to a robot arm pulling off 1 kg spools. And then you take that big giant spool into an auto spooler machine that can down spool to the 1 kgs.
Ah.
But it can take the feed from a spool that is consistent when the extrusion line isn't consistent or at the correct speed for spooling. So
That's fair.
this is one of these scaling problems that is like really obvious if you look at like real production, because no metal wire company is spooling straight down onto the machine.
No.
Tiny spools. They're making a big old
Yep.
giant reel and then moving it over to the other side of the factory. So this is just like kind of the growing of the industry of like the scale is finally being required to where your backyard, yeah, we go to an extruder and we run some Joe standards at it all day long. We're getting past all of that, which is really nice. We win the scaling though. An interesting kind of fight we had was like, do we make a giant extruder that extrudes fast? Because I was like, I want it going at 50 miles an hour shooting down this line here. And we're going to build cooling tanks that are 200 feet long. And we're going to make filament fast. And then I was just like, oh, I can't, because I have to extrude at 1.75. And unless I do a multi-strand extrusion, which suddenly jacks with everything and causes all kinds of failures, I'm like, well, I'm not dealing with that. So I guess we're going to put in 20 extruders or something at some point. But yeah, there's all these kind of interesting triggers and decisions that just haven't been made before for our industry, even though they're very solved in so many other industries. The thing with printing, most of everything that we fight with in printing is very solved or solvable. The only thing that's like new is like the architecture of a factory that makes anything. Factories that make anything have never existed before unless you were an artisan chair shop. But now to make 10,000 parts a day and have each part cost 25 cents or $1 or any kind of reasonable cost, that has never occurred. The screw factory made the same screw and they made it over and over again. And now we got to make 10,000 different screws and still kind of have that economy of scale in there. And that's a new monster. But it's fun. It makes the problem worth working on.
Dude, the respooling. So like,
yeah,
I'm aware that very few companies do this, right? We've toured Printed Solid many times. They do not do this, right? They're going on a 1 kilo rolls. There's someone that has to sit on the line every 4 to 4.5 minutes. That's when you have to change it over.
Yep.
Even on their Prusa line they have there, their Prushimit line, they're doing only 2 kg, but fine, similar thing. I have not yet toured Prusa Polymers in Prague. I do want to see that. I know Polar Filament in Detroit is, the 1 kilo, or, they're not respooling, right? There was one company that was respooling that was kind of famous for it, was Triple ID Max, and they were doing it in Miami.
That's right.
The guy that filmed himself doing it in his underwear.
Oh no, I didn't see
Remember
that video. Weren't they shipping it all over from Cuba anyway?
They were bringing in the big spools. I don't know if it was from Cuba. I believe it was from China, but they were claiming made in America, but when in reality it was re-spooled in America.
Yes.
Yeah. And they don't. I don't think they're around anymore. They might be.
They might not be. They didn't have good margins to be around in business anymore.
No,
even shipping over from China.
But they were also selling for like 12 a kilo too. They were a low cost provider, and the quality of their material very much reflected that. But like for us, we have 5 suppliers because our 2 main suppliers are going to be Printed Solid and Polar Filament. We can run them completely out of their inventory. Like when we make orders, we can empty their inventories. So we needed more suppliers simply because of volume. Yeah. Right.
No, this is what I ran into them too. Because when I talked to the guys, like we use Push Plastic for a lot of our stuff.
Love Push.
Yeah, they do a great job and actually have qualifications and systems, which I loved. But when I talked to them, I was just like, okay, guys, so ordering a pallet from you or whatever else it was, got this job. I need 50,000 rolls. What are we going to do? And they're just like, not feeling like it, sort of a thing. And well, actually, I shouldn't say this was Push, but like every manufacturer kind of has a thing of like, we don't want to do that, or we don't want to scale up to that level, or we're not going to do that in 3 months or anything like that. And I'm just like, misalignment of goals. And I get it, because I'm the most irritating client they have, because I order a pallet at wholesale prices and then I whine about the quality.
Why are we our own worst customers?
I know, right? But they could sell that spool for $25, Uber margins to one lone guy who will never know that one spool was different from another. So why the heck would you even talk to me? So we were just like, this is a misalignment forever. So we're just like, we'll have to make our own filament. There's no way to get around it. And also with middlemen, just with the scale of it all, getting down to injection molding costs, like you have to get back to the cost of beads, and extrusion adds no cost to the cost of material at all when you're good at it. But having a middleman in there just jacks with it all, because they need their 30% cut. And I get that, but it just doesn't work for what we're doing. This is a raw material.
So your spools, then you're not injection molding your own spools, right?
No. Since we use the 3 kg spools, we do purchase those. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And they're recently, for the 1 kg spool, we, for our PCTG, the Tangled Tough, we partnered with another manufacturer to do extrusion because they knew it better than we did and could do that kind of batch stuff that I didn't want in the factory. But the PCT, where was I going with that? They are running the 1 kg spools. We get them from a company called Vandor, which recently just popped up and makes a really affordable 1 kg spool. Because before that, we were using the black, nasty welding spools, like what you held up there a little bit before, right?
Yep.
Which are great because they hold their dimensions and everything else, but immediately became completely outdated when Bamboo came on the scene and made the slot 2 millimeters smaller to where the AMS will not run those old black spools anymore. So Vandor's compatible now. That, by the way, here's the thing. I know everybody's got their thing with Bamboo. I love Bamboo's execution on every step of what they've done from a marketing scale point. Because when they first came out, everybody, even in the open source community, was good with them because they were really engaged in that kind of stuff. But they made these subtle little tweaks that just teed them up just about right, of like, oh, the spool almost fits, but doesn't really fit. And you kind of want to use the Bamboo stuff. And they didn't overcharge for Bamboo filament and that kind of stuff, to where they positioned everything so well to build an ecosystem without looking like they were building an ecosystem, unless you were looking really close.
The silent walled garden has been by far their biggest achievement that they never announce.
Yes.
Well, I mean, and that's the trick, right? They'll happily lose money on the machines because they know they're going to make money on the walled garden, the nozzles, the filament, the whatever, because that's what people want. Right.
In all fairness, though, they don't overcharge for the filament.
No,
because like when MakerBot and the rest of them did it, they're like, our filament costs $50, or you can use some other guy. And you're just like, well, that's not going to fly. But Bamboo's just like, our filament's $12, $15. And you're like, okay, cool.
I have always said, out of all the companies out there that have done walled gardens, love it or hate it, Bamboo's done a damn good job of
Nailed it.
looking at their customer base and saying, what will they afford? And being 10% lower than that, give or take.
Yeah.
Like, I find their nozzles to be way too cheap, but I also know they're making them for pennies compared to what they're selling them for.
Yes.
And I would like to point out, I went to Vandor's website. Their top bar: home, about, real options, custom molding, funeral products, careers.
Sorry, what?
VandorCorp.com. I kid you not.
Oh, I'm sure they're part of. Yeah, I'm sure they got all kinds of a thing there.
Yep. Yeah, but
Oh no, yep, no, that's yeah. It's not some like Vandor spools or whatever else it was. There they are. They got spools right there on the homepage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and their actual spool website is realoptions.com. Also, great name.
Yeah.
Great
Exactly.
website name.
This-
REEL.
Isn't that such low hanging fruit? It was so refreshing when we found them because, like, our other spool manufacturer was always 6 weeks late and couldn't mold their own spools or whatever it was. So it was always frustrating as all get out. And we got to Vandor and they're like, we'll send you 100 spools to try out. And then when you need them, they're going to be cheaper than what you thought they were going to
Yeah, they're
be.
in Richmond.
And you can pay us with a credit card. I'm like, yeah, it's great. But our other this is a really funny story. We were ordering more of the 3 kg spools, and we've put into our systems to order them 8 weeks ahead of time because we know it's going to take at least 6 for them to get to us. And they emailed me back the next day and said, it's ready. Come pick them up with a truck. And I'm like, okay, let me know when the spools are ready. And I'm just like, they're like, no, they're ready for real. And I'm like, they're ready for real? They've never
For
been ready
real?
for real this fast. Like, but no, you tell me that you started on the project the next day. That's what I get. And they're like, no, they're on the dock. And I was just like, well, now you jacked up my whole system, but I appreciate that this is now effective. I had adjusted for your incompetence, but this is so nice now that I can just get them when I need them.
I don't think I've ever, yeah, for reals. Thank you, Duff. I don't know if I've ever used their rolls before.
What, Vandor?
Yeah, maybe I have. Maybe I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't have any Tangled stuff here. Every time you guys put it on sale, by the time I realize it's on sale, it's friggin' sold out and I can't get any in the shop.
We should have black and gray. We definitely have gray in inventory right now. And there's some black, but the black generally ships slow very often. We get behind on that pretty quick.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got to try the PCTG.
Oh, yeah.
You
That's
love
still
it.
in stock.
You will love it.
Yeah.
Is that, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm going to ask. I don't know if you
I'll
can
send
tell
you some
me.
spools. Just send me the address. I'll send you a box.
Okay. Is 3D Fuel the ones making it?
No.
I don't know if you can tell me. Okay.
No. No, we it's an independent extruder that started up about a year or so ago.
Oh, cool.
That we ran into. And I was just like, no, you wanted to play ball and the rest of it. So I was just like, great, we'll buy the beads and the material. You can do extrusion, and this is perfect. So we're hoping to ramp that up over the next year. We may end up moving our extruders actually over to their facility and stuff.
Oh,
and
nice.
putting a print farm or having them latch onto the side of a new print farm. One or the other, because like it's been a really good relationship. And like, yeah, this PCTG run has been kind of like the experiment of like, will this partnership work out? And they're like, nope, they've been good. They delivered it on right. It's all sealed and not terrible so far as I know. So this is good. Nobody's whining to us about it catching fire or something. So
it's funny that it's the craziest thing in business these days. People get surprised when we answer the phone or we call them back when we miss the call. They're like, wait, you're calling us back? I'm like, yes. Well, nobody ever calls us back. What? You're
it's really
telling
low
me
hanging fruit
that,
to
like,
answer the phone fast.
people just don't answer the, oh my God. We have had people say, oh, well, you didn't answer the phone when I called them back. They're like, oh yeah, you didn't answer first. So we found somebody else. Cool. See you later, homie. You weren't worth my time anyways.
Yes, exactly.
But speaking of losing business, Gabe.
What I do.
This was so long ago, but I remember being very salty about it. But when I saw the pricing, I'm like, okay, yeah, they can have it. You did a Centaur trophy for Dave & Buster's many years ago.
Oh, really? This
Many
is many
years ago.
years ago.
This was 20.
This was 21 or 2.
Was it 21 or
Oh
22?
no, it's in the 20s.
Okay.
That project came in like literally when we were moving into the mega farm here. So this was about 3 years ago.
So yeah, I didn't know they were shopping others. We talked to them about, delivery deadlines, what they needed, all this yada yada. And we got down to numbers, we printed a sample, and it sucked to print.
Yep.
And they came back and said, oh yeah, well, we've got, this company called Slant 3D. Never heard of them. I was not. A
Yeah, we weren't
YouTuber.
famous on YouTube yet.
I wasn't a YouTuber.
We weren't YouTubing yet.
I wasn't a YouTuber.
No, neither was I.
When that happened. I
Yeah.
started YouTube in 2020.
Oh,
So it must have
Wait.
been before that.
no.
It's
I'm
gonna
sure
bother
this was
me.
3 years ago.
We're gonna have to check, but or
Yeah.
maybe I didn't talk about it back then. I don't know. But they
This was the winner loser trophy.
Yes.
The Centaur
Yeah,
trophy.
the horse's
Yes.
ass
Oh,
or the
This is like 3 years ago. I'm
Okay.
sure this is 3 years ago. Yeah.
Either it is 3 years ago or our concept of time is completely screwed. But
Well,
you
it's getting very
guys-
blended anymore.
You guys were close to a tenth of what we were charging. You were charging
Oh my
under
God.
you were charging under $100. I think we were up near like 600. Right? You were
For
charging
each trophy?
for each trophy. Yep.
Oh, this may have been a different project because we made thousands of those things.
These were
And they were like, I believe they were under $20.
they wanted them at 16 inches, which back
Oh,
then
we
was,
ended up making them. Ours were like an 8-inch one.
oh no,
ultimately,
ours
where
were
that project
huge.
ended up.
Okay, well maybe
Oh yeah,
maybe that's
Maybe
why.
that's what
Maybe,
no wonder you were so expensive.
I'm like, how the hell are they doing it? Like they came back to said, oh yeah, Slant's doing it for like $80. I mean, I said, I'm not give it to him. I don't want it for that. I'm like, it's $50 in raw material. Like
Yeah.
it's 2 kilos of raw material. How are they making money on this? Lo and behold,
The
apparently
scale.
they were a lot smaller. I
yeah,
was so
the smaller part helps a bunch.
dude, for years I was so salty about this. I'm like, these sons of bitches sold this out from under me. And I'm like, dude, you wouldn't have wanted this work if it came to you at that price. Okay, yeah, if they were 4 or 5 inches tall, that would have been great. Yeah, they wanted it multicolor. We had to paint
If
them.
it makes you feel any better, I'm not sure if I could. It's been 3 years. I'm past NDAs, but that was a really miserable project. Not because of what it was, but like what it turned into after
Oh,
that. Like there was downstream horribleness that happened that was just, it was terrible.
That's
I
a
hate
shame.
projects that end like that.
You
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely hate them.
they were so great to work with up front. We were on video
Yeah.
calls.
Oh, it was not the people. It was not the people. It was the project itself. Like just
Yeah.
we were just like, this is 3D printed, right? You've got the sample, right? You've seen it right here. You guys got to be kind of delicate because these are legs printed like this.
Yeah.
Don't go chuck them at a wall. And they're just like, people chucked it at the wall and it's breaking. I'm like, I don't know how to set expectations any clearer than I did on that project. But we ended up, just all the stuff. The fulfillment warehouse was breaking them, all these kind of things. It was,
Yep. And that's, I think maybe that's why I had pushed them to a larger size. I remember saying,
yes.
because they wanted them like this big. They wanted them like
Yeah.
3 to 4 inches. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we ended up turning the horse into like a Clydesdale. It fixed some of those issues.
we weren't outfitted at the time to do any design changes other than like scaling. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll happily scale it. But man, it was like all the support material, all this. I'm like,
Wait a second.
could've-
Did they have a football player centaur that they sent to you that was split down the middle?
Mhm.
Oh, they sent you our file to quote around.
oh no, it was
now
still
I'm
pretty
salty
wiry.
about this.
It was pretty wiry though. Like there was
It was
no-
pretty wiry. Our first version of file that we sent to them, which I think I may have like poisoned the well a little bit. I may have sent the bad version of the file first
Whatever,
thing. Like,
man.
yeah, you can have this file because if somebody else gets a hold of it, they can have fun.
Well, so I
But
priced
we gotta
it.
fix this yet.
I said, all right, how many of these do you want to make? 50. I'm like, okay, you do understand these are gonna be very expensive. Yes, that's not a problem as long as they're strong. I said, we can guarantee they're strong, but they need to be this size because we were gonna put steel rods in the legs.
Oh yeah, that would have been a good
I'm like,
idea.
I'm not dealing with this crap. But like this, so this is the fun thing. As a business, if you ever lose a contract, you almost never get to hear the story. So this is like the really
This is
fun.
true.
Yeah, I'm like, oh God, I'm so glad I didn't get this
How
job
did that
now.
actually turn out? It's like finding out about an ex-girlfriend or something like that. You're just like,
But technically, we did do work for them. So I do think I have their logo on our website because we made a couple for them. And I'm like, I hate this. And so I gave the I gave the price. It's like, if they're not shopping it out, I know they'll take the price. But if they're shopping it out, someone who doesn't understand their margins will take it and they'll end up
yeah,
having
some
a ball.
moron like this over here.
And you're like, that is how I first got acquainted with you guys.
I'm so mad about that. Well, for you, it was 5 years ago. So now I shouldn't be mad about that. But if it was only 3 years ago, I'm just like, damn it. Like we always have this discussion, like, are we well enough known or are we out there yet or something like that to where people would think of us as a project? I'm just like, nobody knows us at all. We're still on nothing in all of this too. It's so funny.
Dude, we are. I mean,
Yeah.
I will say the marketing side of it now with AI has gotten much easier because there's 2,500 videos with our company name on it. We just have more data out there than anybody else. So we're like first on the list in the AIs for locally, but nationally we're small potatoes. No one gives a damn about us nationally.
Yeah. That's what, but to be fair, here's like, this is a way that we're in inverse there. We have no local service at all.
Really?
Like we do no work in the state of Idaho at all.
Why
Zero.
not?
Why?
It was less than 1% at the starting of the company. It just never has. This, I don't know what the cultural difference is in Idaho or anything else like that. There was us and one other print service that had some SLA machines. They went out of business. We exist not due to work inside of Idaho. Boise is small, but Boise also is not very tech forward. So nobody's going to be like, I'm going to 3D print something. The manufacturing that we do have is very traditionalist. So they're not going to be thinking 3D printing. But I can look at every customer that we've ever had that was local, and we never made money off of them. We get to like sampling or we do the project and they come back and whine to us about something again, to where I was just like, this was net zero, to where at this point, if you look at us on Google Maps, I think it sends you to our old location that we're not at. And I have no inclination to fix it.
Apple Street?
Apple Street. Yes. Where the mega farm is now. Okay. So it is correct.
Yeah. 4600 South Apple Street.
I think one of our YouTube audience, I think, fixed that for us. They were like, I heard that on a live stream. They're like, I saw you were at the wrong address. I'm here in Boise. That's not where you are. So I moved it. I was just like, glad you could. We tried to when we first moved. And then I was just like, it's okay. We have a security gate on our outside stuff. So people can't get to our building if you just like wander in. Like there's 2 levels you got passed through. So I was just like, it's not worth having people come around. And for us, walk-ins are very counterproductive. If you want your part printed, upload it on the site and we'll send you one part. As soon as you walk in, it costs as much as the $5 of shipping for us, plus way more.
Amen.
I'm just like, order the part. I'm sorry I have such terrible customer service.
Somebody on the YouTube comments earlier about half a year ago realized they could just upload any images to the Google like pictures for the company. So now we just have a random picture I do not know how to delete of like rock and stone, or what is the game? It's like a mining game with dwarfs. I can never remember it.
I don't know either. But that's hung up on your website or your
it's
Google
just there.
profile
It's just
now?
permanently there on my Google profile is picture of the company. The door is open. The company name. Dwarf Fortress.
Random thing.
I'm looking at the top down on the map for you guys. You are surrounded by train tracks.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I love that. Yeah.
Deep Rock Galactic. There we go. Thank you, Net7.
How did they know that?
It's a popular game. I actually play the
okay.
game. I just brain farted so badly. I'm like, cannot remember its name. But yeah, Deep Rock Galactic. Good game.
Just, not what you do.
Not what we do.
Not very closely related.
So you guys have instead pushed, say, we want to compete with the Proto Labs, at the time 3D Hubs, and all of that.
We're not even in that at all either. Our philosophy is, how do we make it? We're competing with Amazon. Like we don't even think about the manufacturing of it all. 3D printing is a fulfillment technology. It's not a manufacturing technology. That's kind of how we look at it. My job is to get you a printed part faster than you can print it yourself or order it from online. That's how we think about it. We're a fulfillment infrastructure company to where you can have us print on demand your products or whatever it was. Because if we hit that, then there's no reason to go to a mold, because every decision ultimately comes down to cost, but no, it really comes down to lead time, because your lead time is your actual cost.
Right.
So if we get you any quantity of parts tomorrow, then you don't want to use anything else or think about anything else, because you can upload it, know 1,000 parts will show up tomorrow. So we think about it entirely in that purview. I'm like, how do we shave another minute off of how fast we get a part out the door so that we can take any part and get it delivered? But that requires that the part be done. Proto Labs, Xometry, all the rest of them are prototyping, preparing, verifying, whatever it was. People are experimenting with them. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you can prototype with us, but it's the same experience as anything else. The fastest parts are the ones we have printed before.
Right.
The prototypes are the slowest ones. So we're like, if you are scaling up and you want production capacity or you want to have your parts fulfilled, you can design and perfect them and prototype them through us. And that's all the pre-prep. But then fulfillment comes through us. So you don't have to deal with shipping or where your warehouse shelves are, or did the part show up, or was the right thing in the box, or anything else. All of it disappears. Because again, I think about it as like a digital context. I don't care how my YouTube video got delivered to someone's phone. Why would I want to DIY that? I want to upload videos. I want to make videos and do whatever I'm doing. So we're trying to build that infrastructure to where somebody can design projects and upload products and just find out what people want to buy. And then all the rest of the fulfillment and infrastructure and manufacturing is taken care of for them. So I'm good doing black PLA, which is not what Xometry or Proto Labs or anybody does, because everybody's got a printer on their desk. But at the same time, when you're Xometry or Proto Labs, you're dealing with a 60-year-old engineer. I have no doubt that we'll introduce carbon fiber nylon in the fairly near future for folks for print on demand. But it has to hit that scalability. I know I can make 10,000 parts tomorrow with PLA or PETG or PCTG, any of those materials, very reliably and consistently. And I know there is way more demand out there for that than what we are currently supplying. So I don't need to go do machined parts or laser cutting or carbon fiber or PEEK or any of the rest of it, which I know are so much more specialized than keychains and fidget toys, bluntly. And I'm like, we can make a lot of keychains and fidget toys. So yeah, we're just like, in the book, The Innovator's Dilemma, he talks about this. He's like, all the steel companies made really high quality steel parts continuously from raw steel ore. And then these stupid little smelters started taking scrap steel and making these crap rebar stuff. And then they started getting better. And I'm like, I am good making crap rebar for a long time, so long as we keep on growing as we continue to get better, because there's no reason this technology will not replace injection molding. There's no reason for it. Fundamentally, you're taking energy and the raw material and changing it into another shape. 3D printing is the most efficient method for taking just energy and just material and turning it into a new shape. Molding, you have the mold and some minimum scale. Machining, you have subtractive. There's all this ancillary waste. 3D printing is the purest form of making an object. And if it's well designed, you don't even have support material on it. We can have someone grab a part off a machine, throw it straight into a box and ship it out the door. And that part is done with no intermediary steps.
Yeah, that is the goal.
Then I want to know, what do you all think? Did you think that 3D printing is going to replace injection molding at any point in the near future? Let us know in the comments. I think that is, I like it. I don't know though. I don't know.
We know that the volumes of parts have been declining forever. Like freaking Toyota considers 25,000 to be mass production.
Oh yeah.
And if they could go smaller, they would.
Oh, it's Toyota.
I don't believe in the right, exactly. But I don't believe in the customization part of 3D printing. I don't think that many people want their name stamped on their object.
No.
But I do believe in the customized demand. Like right now, I can market to any individual demographic that I want. If I have a widget, I can market to a 45-year-old woman who lives in this neighborhood who makes this much money per year, and that ad will show to her. But your products are not that flexible.
No.
What if you could iterate and tweak your product to that degree to have it create the item that 45-year-old woman who makes that income wants in that moment? You're not just marketing your presentation or adjusting and iterating your presentation, but your actual item.
With that caveat, I will agree. But I guess I was primarily looking at square footage, right? What can I get more volume out of it?
Space is one of the cheapest things.
Right, but I'm looking, so when you look at scaling, right? Space, if you can find a warehouse with cheap rent, great. But if you're on a set piece of land, let's say you're in 50,000 square feet, can you get more volume out of an injection molder or additive 3D printers. If you're doing one thing, let's say you are a single part company, right? I think injection molding is going to win that every single day. But as soon as you...
No, I don't think so.
Really?
Because the molder has the warehouse where you have to store all of the parts,
Yep.
which is the same square footage ultimately, whereas we just have the warehouse.
You're right.
It's also material storage. Printers tend to store the material in themselves, whereas an injection molder, you need an entire warehouse for material preparation and storage.
You'll technically still need that for printing as it continues to scale, but you're right. A lot of it stores
there's
on
a
the
lot of
machines.
overlap. Like on printing,
You can
there's
tighten that
overlap
up
of
and shrink it down.
space.
Yeah.
On top of that, for say like
I'm
you get a
upset.
300 grand injection molder,
You're not wrong.
the real question that made me win it over was, for 300 grand, one injection molder, how many printers can I get, and does that do the same throughput as that injection molder in raw plastic melt? And the answer is the printers win every single time.
And with injection molding, you also need a CNC machine to make the molds.
There's that, and you also have a single point of failure. Our factory is never going to go down because we can only go down by a percentage. We can't go down completely.
These are quality arguments that I don't think I've heard before.
It's because it's so niche. There's only like 5 people on the planet who have to deal with this most of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah. And even like you look at like the Chinese print farms, everybody's just like, okay, great, print farms are fine. China's going to take them all. And I'm like, I've seen the Chinese print farms, and they're operating at a level of they're using the labor component of it, of like a bunch of consumer machines sling people at it. And I'm like, that's not useful. So they're about 5
really
years
not
behind
optimized.
where we are right now for operating and tracking and that kind of stuff. And it's great if you're filling up a bag of Wiglets or something like that. That's fine. But there's other parts to be made that need more traceability.
I love traceability, man. Traceability just means more money on the project.
Yes.
You need full traceability? Yeah, that's 4x.
In all fairness, though, it's a really easy thing to automate because if you can get that system working, it's really high margin, but really low operational expense.
So we offer traceability from filament manufacturer. So
that's rough.
We go from raw material all the way to end products. Like that's when you're dealing with
most
like
manufacturers
Peak,
can't do it.
Sabic does for Peak, Peck, and Ultem, right? So it's when you're already coming for Ultem or Peak or Peck, you already know that this isn't going to be, you're not getting a $20 part made out of Ultem. I'm not even heating up the machine to Ultem temperatures for $20. Yes. Absolutely not. It's not happening.
Yep.
So I guess at that point they're like, we don't care. We're paying Stratasys prices. If you're 4 times normal rate, you're still 5x cheaper than what we're used to paying. Like I'm near a major Air Force base, so like the big push for us has been more business to government, and well, as we all know, things are a little iffy in the government right now. And hey, if the billionaires can find ways to make money off of it, so can us little guys. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
There's so much money sloshing around out there. Even when any individual source moves around, there's always so much more out there. People really underestimate this too. Like there's so much sloshing around that generally it's your efficiency of grabbing it that slows you down more often than not.
And watching all these local, there's a bunch of small 3D printing companies that are popping up locally, and they're all doing the same shit, right? They're all doing the dragons. They're all doing the eggs. And what are they competing on? Price. And I'm like, you all are morons. Sure, you're gonna scale very quickly and rapidly, but you're gonna quickly come into this problem of, you can't replicate yourself. You're going to try to bring in people. They're not going to be as efficient as you, and they're going to fundamentally fail at it. And because you're running on razor thin margins, you're not going to succeed at this. You have to be at a slant 3D scale to take advantage of smaller margins, but take advantage of, a volume. 5 printers doesn't take advantage of margin. I would say a minimum for that is 50 machines before you're taking advantage of any volume production.
Yeah. The very simplest solution is like, how much filament can you buy to where you just get the 10% discount for buying 10 spools? That kind of a simple thing. That's the most obvious volume scale. If you can't do that, then you're nowhere near it. But The dragons, though, the dragons are interesting because they've had more staying power than I thought.
Dude,
But I
same.
also keep on saying like it's 2 more years and then they're gonna die out. I think it's again just like we were so small and then there was so much demand for it. Because like, did fidget spinners? Oh yeah, and the dragons can't really be molded.
I love the fidget
compared to the
spinners.
fidget spinners. The fidget spinners could have been dragons, but they started being molded in
That
time.
was such a great one. That was such a moneymaker for us. My God.
Yes.
We had a retail store back then, dude. Toys R Us, RIP, was sending people to us. Toys R Us was sending people wanted fidget. We were the only ones that could do it. We were the only 3D printing company in the area at the time.
Yep.
Right. We had a inline store at a major mall locally here in Tampa, Wiregrass for those that are in Tampa. Right. We had our best month. I mean, we almost cleared $70,000 in 1 month of effing fidget spinners. We were buying we were making deals with companies to buy ball bearings by the pallet. Right? Yeah. Like it was incredible. And because we were running just-in-time manufacturing, when the craze so what happened was it went like this. It went rocketing up. And so you've got a 3 to 4 week period where injection molding is going to catch up to you, but you have 3 to 4 weeks to make your money. Right?
Yes.
We were instantly able to ramp up production and we ran constantly. We started having, designs that we would allow people to make their own custom designs. We had computers with Tinkercad already open so they could make their own with like a base model that we put in there.
Oh, in the store?
That's store, baby. In the store. And you got them same effing day or next day.
Yeah. We
had all these little kids that were entrepreneurs that were selling them at schools. I would cut them deals because I love my local entrepreneurs. It was awesome. I miss those days so much. We eventually started running out of bearing suppliers, so we started using pennies for the weights.
That's a good idea.
We were buying pennies $100 at a time.
Yeah.
Do you know how heavy 100 pounds in pennies is?
I'm assuming quite a bit.
Quite heavy. And the landlord knows exactly how heavy it is too. We paid our final month's rent.
In pennies?
Not in pennies, but I had a bunch left over. So F them.
Oh, as you say that, though, I realize that dragons aren't at the top. Because during fidget spinners, every major YouTuber had made a fidget spinning video from not Mr. Beast, but like Dude Perfect, Corridor. They all had fidget spinner themed videos at that time and even merch. And fidget dragons haven't reached that. They haven't reached that ubiquity. So we're still early.
What if, hear me out, we put dragons on fidget spinners?
I'm not on board with you. I'm gonna have to Shark Tank you that one. I think that one needs to go out behind the barn and be shot. I'm like, no.
We need to have.
I'd love to go on, but no. We need to ixnay this one right here. No.
Honestly, the one that I didn't see coming was Wiglets. I did not think that was gonna work the way that it did.
I'm not surprised by that. I talked to Zach about this and that kind of stuff, and I was just like, I'm glad somebody formalized it, because yes, it's just like whenever you have a market with a ton of disparate individual guys making stuff or whatever else it was, that's a commodity market where it's very easy to centralize and just build a really good system. Wiglets was brilliant in the fact that, number one, they ground super hard at the beginning because they would do 5 shows a weekend. And they would drive 6 to 15 hours to go do 5 shows a weekend. Just take their trailer and move.
That's intense.
That's intense. But then also they figured out the sales process. They figured out this is a high selling item at the front of every independent toy store in the country. And there are a lot of those, and we can find their phone number.
Because they're grabbing.
So you can call. They can grab and go, and then can call up that person and say, can we send you 100 of these things on consignment or whatever their model was? And they know they will sell. And that's a really, really scalable business model. And they ground it out and they ate it until they got up to where Moose Toys bought a chunk of them or something, or partnered with them. And now they're in Target, and good on them. When I talked to Zach, I was just like, what are you doing about the toy problem? I'm like, you guys need to start a TV show in the next 6 months. Otherwise, you're going to burn out here in 18. And he was just like, we're working on it. We're building a brand. have built a brand in that they're actually collectible and intentionally collectible, which is better than everybody else. And they also got them certified as child safe so that Target actually could buy them.
I don't
So
know
they
how
did
they
all
did.
the right things.
How can you get something that small certified as child safe?
They made it smaller. This is actually what they did. They made the parts smaller relative to the size of the links. And then they got them tested by a toy lab to make sure that the arms don't break off at a certain strength threshold. So, yeah, they just did the right things. Like, it's such a perfect example of just execution. Like, yeah, they create creative new toys and that kind of stuff, but ultimately they're making a fidget toy. But they just ran at it very intentionally and really hard, and they've got it now. And like, it's so beautiful. And it's also a perfect example of doing one thing really, really well and it going big. So yeah, I love it. I love seeing them. It's like,
I don't know
amazing.
much about their story. I've seen them in stores. I made a reel on Instagram because I was in Aldi's the other day, and they had.
And you're one of the guys whining about a 3D printed China thing or something.
No, I wasn't whining about it. They were whining about it in the damn comments. The comments.
Yeah, I
were
can't believe this
it.
cheap crap. I can print better than that.
No. I did show some VFAs on there. Like, hey, if we can sell VFA parts in a retail store, y'all are way too anal about your damn machines. All right, cut it out.
Yes.
But that was the first time, outside of like the little wiglets and stuff like that, that I've ever seen. This product had packaging. It had, shelf-based packaging and individual packaging. Now, it's PLA. That ain't gonna last in Florida, I'll tell you that much. But it was the first time that I've seen a 3D printed product being sold as a regular product. And that was the most unique thing for me. So like wiglets, very clearly, these are 3D printed. It's a big part of it. You go to gift shops and stuff, they're 3D printed. It's a big part of it. This was not. They did not discuss.
It looked just like a regular off-the-shelf product.
Yes.
You wouldn't, had you not known. They had 3D in the name, but it was 3D Windcatcher or something like that.
Oh, okay.
It was not 3D printed. They were not leveraging 3D printing for marketing clout.
It's never been a leveraging point for marketing clout.
Well, okay, fine.
But 3D printing has never been a feature. It has been people. There was like a cool cachet to it for like a moment of the nuance of it all, but like anybody who ever
then it burned.
was definitely gonna die. Yeah.
The moment I see anything that says 3D printed thing, I'm like, not buying it.
I can make it at home.
No, it wasn't it. It was just like, if you're selling it on the fact
that
it's 3D printed, it's a gimmick. And I don't like the fact that people are like, oh, injection molded thing. It's the same feeling. It's just, stop telling me how you built it and make a good product.
Yes. Just make a good product. That's the thing. The process has nothing to do with the performance of the product. Who cares? People, the product design hasn't caught up with what 3D printing can do yet. And the reason 3D printing has such a bad rap is because people have been trying to 3D print injection molded designs or traditionally made things.
They're not doing DFAM.
You're not using the process. Like they're like freaking, you're using sheet metal design for a CNC part. Why would you do that? So it's like, and I will need a better analogy for that because that's still two-way engineering-y, but I need a broom and vacuum analogy for this whole situation because I haven't figured out the tagline for that.
Dude, I don't disagree with you though. It is kind of ridiculous how crazy. Like we will get designs in that are, you can see there's no, they're drafted. There's no sharp corners. I'm like, oh no, this is. And like, they don't have any undercuts either, but like they don't understand. They understand the process of making DFM, design for manufacturing. They do not know how to do design for additive manufacturing. And we've said this for many years now. I think the next kind of frontier for this industry is the education. The education is not caught up at all with.
That's why we built the YouTube channel.
Same.
That was
thing.
the entire premise for it. Yeah. We built the YouTube channel as a sales channel. We were answering the same emails over and over again. And I was just like, I'm going to answer the questions in a video. We're going to edit them up and then we can explain it to the person without having to write an email.
That's why we started our podcast. 10 episode podcast, Gabe. 10 episodes, baby. Episode 259. Which you all should like and subscribe, obviously, if you're
Yeah,
still
exactly.
listening
Yeah.
this far. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. We started for the same reasons. Like we
Yeah.
took the 10 most common questions that we got asked and said, I'm making a 10 episode podcast, and
Yep.
whenever someone has this question, I'm gonna say, go watch this.
Watch that video.
And if you don't watch it and you tell me to answer the question for you, sorry, I've got other things I need to do, right? Because
Yep.
you likely saw this. The biggest factor, how much time can I get out of a day, right? 16 to
Yep.
18 hours on average at best, right? You ain't doing any better without some booger sugar, okay?
Yep.
Further, you now to say, how do I maximize that time? Well, if I'm going to answer the same shit over and over again, I'm not maximizing my time.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can, and we did templated emails, all the rest of it, but it also let our sales team be dumber. Like they didn't have to understand it.
Yep.
Like they're just like, go watch this. That answers the question. And now, again, like you're seeing it with your content and the fact that you're so findable on AI. But now I'm like, we're going to download the transcript of every one of our videos. And there is an intelligence in our company that is able to answer any question from any client ever, because
Oh,
we
that's
have
smart.
3
That's so smart.
years
That's smart.
in deep engineering of all this stuff. It's done.
See, that's where I wish we took advantage of AI more than we
Yeah.
have. That is such an easy way. The amount of phone calls, my bamboo's broken, can you fix it? Yep, we can. $80 for us to look at it. I recently raised it from 75 to 80 because 420s is a lot easier. And they're like, we don't pay you up front. No, your printer's your collateral. You don't pay me, you don't get your printer back. I'll
That's a good
sell
way
it.
to do it.
Yeah. You know, they're like,
That's actually a good way to do it.
yeah. And
That is a good way to do it.
and if the printer is not worth $80, we're not taking it in anyways.
Yes.
And I
That
would-
really filters, folks.
yeah, you know. And do I want a bunch of bamboos? No, but the bamboo owners want them back.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
pretty easy to fix most of the time, but it's time.
Once in a while, you get some of those lemons. Yeah.
I'm well aware.
Oh,
Aware
yes.
of bamboo lemon.
Good times. Do you think the
Gotta love
bamboos
a
have gotten
lemon.
worse in the last couple of years?
I don't know.
We were benchmarking some PS2s the other week, and I was just like, this is kind of my default explanation of what a consumer machine is like. And I used to think bamboo was better than that. And I'm just like, no, these if I run 10 machines continuously for a week, 3 of them will be jammed or broken or busted in some kind of a fashion. If I run continuously 10 P2Ss for a week. And I thought they would be a little bit better than that. And we weren't doing
No,
anything
that-
gross.
That is literally my experience with them. But I've
Really?
gotten from brand new to like when they came out all the way up
Mhm.
to the new ones.
Darn. I thought that
They've
I kind of gave the
not
P1S a
been
better credit.
overtly special.
Yeah. It's like,
And I think it's
must
just
have gotten
because,
spoiled.
as I found initially, their print profiles are trash. They're too
Yes.
fast. They
Yes.
grind a lot of the filaments.
Yes.
They care too much about the speed and the aesthetic of speed, and not the aesthetic of the part or the quality of the part.
This is what I attribute to Bamboo. Their full secret to success is they made the first 10 minutes of ownership perfect. You can
Yep.
the pull out of the box and it starts printing immediately.
Yep.
That was the only thing that they perfected. Without the print speed, all the rest of it is nice, but ultimately kind of limited and a little bit not true. To where I was just like, no, they made the first 10 minutes of the user experience perfect. So everybody thinks the machine is amazing, because everything after that doesn't matter. You don't remember that or don't
Mhm.
think about that. It's your first interaction with the product.
It's so funny how like my opinion on them has changed a lot, right? Like, you know, we put out a video on Friday about, you know, this whole debacle with the fork of Orca. I've been in contact with the dev on it. We're going to be doing an update video sometime next week or the week after, just to kind of, you know, further go down it. And like, I think Bamboo, I don't know if they've perfected the 10-minute out of the box. I mean, they have, right? I think what they've done is they perfected marketing. They've perfected the marketing.
Oh, yeah.
The fact
100%.
that they have bamboo on the side of their extruder head in the time lapse, which no other machine has done yet.
They were the first ones to put time lapse on a printer from the factory.
as a shareable feature that could immediately go to social.
And
It was so
easy.
beautiful.
It was
Yeah.
easy.
It was
You wanted to
so
live stream
perfect.
it? Here's an option to do it. I do think that their 1080 Ti, right, still the king of graphics
Oh,
cards.
yeah.
Literally, you are watching a stream encoded on 1080 Ti's. Well, one of them. I only have one in this computer, but yeah, the X1 Carbon was their 1080 Ti. They will never make another machine as good and as value oriented as that. The P1S, same way. That's why the P2S is like, dude, they're losing money on these machines. They have to be.
Yeah.
Right?
And they kind of killed the P2S with the new X2.
X2D.
The
Did they?
X2D.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because
have.
it's only slightly more expensive, and then you get the Bowden extruder, which is better. Because now you could do supports on a Bowden extruder.
It's also funny to watch people, oh
Do
my
it.
God, it's got a Bowden extruder. Yeah, you all used to bitch and moan about that when they first came out. Now, all of the sudden, Bowden's cool.
It's not.
Everybody,
It's still not
I
cool.
understand why everybody dislikes Bowden, but the Bowden has like all of that is fixable in Slicer.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally, every quality problem with a Bowden extruder from that control is fixable in the Slicer, and what isn't currently fixable could take a simple software tweak and it would fix it. Like I am an avid believer that the seam lines at the end of each thing right now, or loop lines, instead of ending at the end, just give them a dog leg like that inside of the part.
Yep.
And then you fix every seam problem forever. And it's the simplest little update that we haven't had time to do, but we need to push it to Orca one of these days. Those types of things. And then you can use any extruder you want on any crap machine you want, and print quality is perfect. And the seam never goes bad again, regardless of what material you're using.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Bamboo is responsible for the renaissance that we're seeing in the industry, and they deserve all the praise and thanks for that. But they started in a quasi-walled garden, and all they've done is they've built their walls higher and higher and higher. And they've done it in a boiling a frog kind of way, right? Where they're just slowly raising the temp so you don't realize it. And like, we used to always get a bunch of shit for ragging on Bamboo. Like, you're just being too mean to them. You're not giving them the benefit of the doubt. So in this video, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. And now I'm getting all this saying, oh, you're being too nice to them. They're being malicious. Like, I can't win on this. Either I got called a Bamboo shill. I got called a Bamboo shill multiple times.
That's pretty surprising for you.
You don't. You clearly must be new here.
Yeah.
I am so far on their ban list. They put out a public blog post threatening to sue me. I am
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh,
They
yeah.
did.
Oh.
They did.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
hilarious.
Not now, they didn't name me. They said, there's a content creator out there who's, saying wrong things about our product, and we are, digging into legal action if, if we can take
considering
legal
legal,
action.
yeah.
I'm like, go to hell. We exposed a very obvious issue in your code. You patched it 48 hours later because you clearly knew what it was, and just and like for this, what did this fork of Orca do? This fork of Orca made every single instance operate as if it was on Linux, because the Linux version of Orca Slicer was able to bypass Bamboo's thing, right? Their security thing, and it worked, and it's in Bamboo's AGPL code. So all they did is they just made every communication with the machine over Linux. They're not reverse engineering. They're not doing anything. It's in the code, right? And sure, maybe they're violating a TOS. Who gives a shit, right? But Bamboo has effectively won this. I'll be curious. It's a TOS. Ooh, big deal. Who cares? I hope that this person actually goes and goes after Bamboo, but they did take down the repository because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Is it worth your time as someone who's doing this for fun to go to war with the largest 3D printing company in the world? Hell no.
Isn't that hilarious? Bamboo's 3-4 years old now as the largest printing company in the world, as a hardware company or anything else. That's bananas.
Aren't they 6?
What do you mean?
Jacob, when did you launch Construct 3D?
6 years
We
old?
launched 3 days before.
I know. What year was it,
Bamboo
Jacob?
I believe it was 2020.
Bamboo came out in 2020?
I believe so.
No. What? No.
Let's find Bamboo's Kickstarter. Can someone tell us when Bamboo's Kickstarter ended?
I'm doing it now.
I could have
Yeah,
sworn it was
August
like
2020. August 2020.
No.
Gabe is just finding that his concept of time is really screwed.
A little bit. I'm still right about when we did the centaurs, but
K2 Kevin says 22. Pez
Yeah.
Liz says 22. You said
I
it
feel like the
ended-
review, maybe the launch was there, but I feel like it was late 2021, early 2022 when they actually like had machines delivered.
Oh,
and
when they
started
were delivering.
mattering.
So,
Yeah.
so I know we founded our companies almost at the same time.
Jacob, it ended
Okay.
And we
October of
did the
22, you
Kickstarter.
dumbass.
Then it's 22.
Where
I
did you
always
get
get it
2020
mixed up.
from?
Because we founded the companies in 2020 as well. We
Well, Bamboo
founded
was
in the
founded
same year.
earlier.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah,
Bamboo
we
was
founded
definitely
in the
had 2
same
years
year.
of stealth.
And we launched
Okay.
our products within 3 days of each other.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, so May 31st of 22. And so,
Yeah.
okay, 4 years, almost to the day, 4 years. We're a couple of weeks
Yeah.
out of that. And they have become the largest 3D printing manufacturer by
By a mile.
Oh, yeah. And they perfected the one thing that nobody else did. Penetrating markets outside of 3D printing. They sent
Yes.
printers to every big influencer
Everybody.
in the woodworking industry where 3D printers
Yeah.
clearly should have lived, and
Yes.
they caught the rest of the industry with their pants down, like just
Yep.
like
But they had perfected that first 10 minutes to where those people who were not
Oh my
3D
God,
printing people
yes.
could immediately think, oh, this is great. And yeah. But this is like the whole thing with the printing industry too. Like I didn't consider the Bamboo print quality to be that much better than like top print quality at the time.
At the
And
time?
when
I mean, at the
Here's
time
the
it was
thing.
better, but they shipped with matte filaments.
people
And
in
it
a
made
desert,
things look
yes.
amazing.
the matte filaments did everything.
And yet
Another
people
one of the
still buy
simple
it.
little moves. What do you mean? Yeah.
their basic PLA, the Bamboo PLA, it's all matte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
It should be. It never shouldn't be. And that's again them being like that was like kind of the silent thing of like they're not catering to the 3D printing industry at all because everybody's just like, that's not going to be strong. And who cares? And you're just hovering layer lines or whatever else it was. I'm just like, no, they're giving it to every other human on the planet who wants to print a thing. And they can just get a part that will work.
That's true. Piled
Oh.
3D. I actually still have it. The original X1 carbon shipped with carbon fiber nylon
Oh,
and PVA
yeah.
supports. They cut that out later down the line
yeah.
as a money saving thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, the first one, and
Yeah.
carbon fiber's the same way, right? You put carbon fiber through anything, and it
It
just
makes everything pretty.
oh my god!
Yes.
I wish
Yep.
we could just print nothing but carbon fiber filled filament. We would. I don't care how bad your printer is tuned. It
I mean-
would still look good.
Yeah.
This is
exactly.
your yearly reminder that carbon and glass fiber filled materials was an additive to make material cheaper.
Mhm.
It wasn't to actually increase strength, it was to pad out a base polymer to make it cheaper and easier to work with.
You know what's hilarious is that there's an even better solution than the glass fiber or carbon fiber. You can use basalt salt crystals inside of it, which are fibrous crystals, which do the exact same result. They just don't sound as good as carbon fiber. We've been working on this over Entangled, and we're like, we just want matte filaments, and I want a very low content so it's still strong and not a matte garbage thing
Yeah.
that breaks up the surface finish. So we've been fighting with this, and I was like, we need glass filled, and the guys were just like, I know some salt crystals that aren't toxic that are way easier for us to extrude and way better for everybody else to use.
They're
I
not going
was
to
just like,
destroy.
that
our
sounds
barrels.
amazing. Do that. Yeah.
Do it now.
Well, not even the barrels, but like just the extrusion of it itself, or the handling of the carbon fiber powders and that kind of stuff. You get rid of all that problem because people can just go inhale the salt crystals and it won't matter, as compared to the glass or the carbon fiber, which is a little bit bad.
Okay, so
Kind of
as-
bad for you.
As the
Just a little
resident Shrek on the channel, living in the swamp and all, how does that work?
What do you mean?
It's salt. It's water soluble.
Oh, but that has nothing to do with the filament. The filament's not water.
Right,
And
but
it's
my
connected
air
with
is
it.
water.
Oh. They're not quite that. There's a variation on. I've talked to the guys a little bit about this, and I don't fully understand it yet. But yeah, it's a variation of the crystal that's not hydroscopic effectively, to where it will not dissolve directly.
Dude, you gotta send me
or
some
in
of
this
that.
case.
I gotta
Once
try
we
that
get it
at some
going.
point.
We're doing the R&D on it right now. We hope we can turn the PCTG into a matte version that has that. and then
Ooh,
that'll
that'll
just like
be-
become our
Let me
default.
try
best material.
PCTG first.
Yeah.
Damn it,
Nope, moving too fast.
shit,
Right.
dude. We never
Yeah,
get
it's a very
questions
simple-
for it.
Yeah.
And like
Well, nobody knows about it because it's got the worst brand name on the planet that no one would ever ask about.
it is
Because
such
why
a
would
bad
you?
brand name. It is.
Just call it freaking not ABS or something like that. So at least you ride off of something else.
But how did ASA stick so well then? Is it because it's more than one letter off?
ASA is still 3 syllables and 1 letter off. It doesn't sound like ABS,
Yeah.
but PCTG sounds like PETG, and
Mm.
it's 3 letters on. So
It's the G. The
It's the
hard
G.
ending being the same.
Yeah.
It makes
And-
it sound the same.
and in all
I mean, the
fairness,
literal
like-
ending chemical is glycol.
Yeah, exactly. But even when you talk about PCTG, it sounds almost too good to be true. I remember the first time I was exposed to it about like 3 years ago or something. I was just like, yeah, but does it really? What is the nifty little catch-all on this thing that I don't know about?
Yeah.
And I haven't found it yet. So
I
it
haven't
is
found
actually
it.
PETG, but good. Yeah.
I
It
don't
is
mind
a
PETG.
slightly hotter, stabilized,
Hotter?
stronger PETG.
Better chemical resistance,
is
better UV.
Easier to
better
print
temp.
in my eyes. Some people have said
Yeah.
it's harder, but I think it's easier.
It's
And
settings,
it's
yeah.
just below raw PET. So it's like this nice middle ground between PETG at the bottom, PCTG in the middle, and then raw PET at the top, which is the hardest, hottest, most chemically resistant. But in reality, you hate yourself if you're printing raw PET.
Exactly.
Does it have the stringing problems that PETG has? when you
Not
print
as
too
bad.
hot?
Not
Really?
even close. Like 30% of what PETG would do.
You're selling me. I mean, you're selling me on it.
Yeah.
Like, and 3D Fuel selling me on it too because they have a rigid orange, and I'm a rigid and Ryobi household because I don't have Milwaukee money.
One of the pores.
Exactly. No, exactly. But I have found the wonderfulness that is Direct Tools Factory Outlet, and if you don't know about that, missing out.
What is this?
It is the reseller of refurb TTI tools, which Rigid and Ryobi are in there.
Ah.
Milwaukee is too, but they don't really do Milwaukee stuff. So like
Yeah.
I added what I still think, and this was from David Schwartz, aka Prusa Guy, the 1/2-inch belt sander that Ryobi makes. It's 1/2-inch wide belt sander, right? It is amazing for cleaning up edges and things like that. It is an $85 tool every day of the week at your local homeless despot, but it was less than $40 at Direct Tools, but it has a refurb, hot stamp on it. I don't care. Or Recon or whatever. I don't give a shit. It's going to have a terrible life in my shop. I'm not going to be nice to it at all. And
Have it half beat up already.
Well, no, dude, they get new shells. They look brand new.
I know, right?
It's like,
Refurb stuff is really
why
good.
the hell would I? Why? I am the kind of guy, I like to buy things secondhand, let somebody else eat the depreciation. Power tools are one of those things. Why would I buy the tools brand new if I don't have to?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
Like buying a car.
I want to be able to do, battery storage, right? With, charged and not charged. But a few companies make the Ryobi green, Ryobi yellow. I'll let you all argue it out whether it's a green or a yellow in the comments, but nobody made rigid orange. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. Fine. Well, 3D Fuel finally did.
Yep.
Not rigid orange, excuse me, because that would be it is not official orange. It is rigid like orange.
It's very similar.
It's stiff. Yeah, it's
But
called
not
rigid orange,
suable.
it's stiff.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't PCTG is on my list to mess with.
It's worth looking into.
Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah.
What's it good for on temperature? Like ambient before it starts to get soft?
50 higher than PETG.
Like, yeah.
whatever
Wait, so
that
we're
is.
over 100 now.
Oh yeah.
PETG's good
Yeah.
to 85C.
Well, I
no
want to say
problem.
like. Yeah, I want to say.
I'd say like
30.
you're good to like 90 before you start getting material change,
Okay.
but like you're good to like 120.
Okay, so this is like potentially kicking ABS to the curb.
Yes.
Though
To
it
be
does print
fair,
slower than
ABS should have been on
'cause
the
it is
curb about
thicker.
10 years ago.
Brother, I totally agree. I say that as
It's
I
the
just
stupidest
opened a
material.
5-kilo roll of ABS.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
ABS is really nice for one specific feature.
Cheap.
it flow. It's pure flow. You want to make something large and fast, you have a heated chamber, you do it in ABS because it is very clean and it doesn't absorb much moisture.
Look,
This is
So
true.
you can just run it.
Sunlu was selling their 5 kilo rolls of ABS from Uncle Bezos, right? So I got it prime shipped, $32.
That's good.
And look, I'm someone that
I
hates
would stand by
ABS.
ABS is better than ASA in
No.
my eyes.
No, you're wrong.
For one reason. One
UV.
reason.
UV.
One particular reason.
Don't
I don't care about the UV.
I do.
Don't care. One reason. Bed adhesion. ASA's inability to bed adhere nicely is the highest risk factor for that material. If you can get it printing, you're fine.
The
But
machines
if
I
it
run in
ever
are all
comes
heated
off that
chambers.
bed,
I don't
you're
What
care.
the heck is
bricking
your
your
all
machine.
clean for? I thought it's
Yeah.
supposed
What
to
the hell
fix
is
this
all
problem.
clean bullshit for?
It's
Yeah.
not the beds. So I did a load of research into the basic polymers for ASA. Half the companies in the market use the wrong version, which is specifically a high flowing, low adhesion releasing ASA for injection molding. So of course it's not going to stick to PEI. It's designed to eject from injection molders without sticking to the surface. So
How come
it
ABS
just
has
rejects
built
everything.
all this direction? Because ABS is
You
the
can
mold
buy them. Yeah, you can buy
Well,
them.
we were
But
just
there's
able to
so
find
many
the
different
grades and
types
fill
of
in.
resins. Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
many different types of resins out there that you need to get specific ones. But ASA was specifically designed for the automotive industry for large
Mhm.
injection molds
Look,
for the dashes,
my
and that's why
HC90,
most of them come with it.
the Cheaties, the Snapmaker, they don't give a shit. They don't care what I run in them. And they all have carbon filters, so there's no smell, there's no dust. That all stays inside of the printer and its filter. I could not care less. The deal's gone, but I think I bought like 10 rolls. You know? It's like, it was so cheap. I'm making some parts for the local high school. The same school that helps me with my car. The teacher came to me and said, "Hey, we have these hooks for your ratchet straps, but our entire trailers are slat wall. These are not slat wall compatible. We have to drill holes into the slat wall to screw it in. Can you make them slat wall compatible?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I can make it slat wall compatible. It's a trailer in Florida. It easily gets 150 degrees Fahrenheit in there. So you're talking over 65 degrees Celsius without even thinking. They just wrapped it red and blue. So it's going to get much warmer inside of that." I'm like, great, I'll open up a 5 kilo roll of ABS. I had some Prushman ASA, but I didn't know how big these parts, like how heavy they were going to be. I said, I'll just put the 5 kilo roll on there. I know it won't be bigger than that. And it was like 70 grams. I'm like, huh, oops. Now I'm making a bunch more of them.
Like, make a few more.
Oh yeah, well I gave him 2 samples. They tried them. He's like, they're perfect. Make me some more. I'm like, I got you. And so instead of, I normally had to pay like $10 an hour for shop time to work on my car, which is nothing.
That's nothing.
I'm trading that for parts.
There you go.
As a win. So I get my car back. Just drove it all the way. Drove it an hour and 20 minutes nonstop yesterday. It was great.
And all cylinders were firing?
All cylinders
It
firing.
was amazing.
Well, we stayed.
More than 50% of them?
Yep. Thank God. Hey, look, okay. It was only on, when it was running on 2 cylinders, that was the economy mode. See, because that car had $2 a gallon gas in it, or close to $2 a gallon gas, whatever January was for gas.
That's when you wanted to save the money on.
Right? So really, all it was doing was running at the same efficiency that it would be for the current gas prices.
Yeah.
You know, customer came in, said the transmission wasn't shifting. Transmission's now shifting, but the car's only running on 2 cylinders. Customer complaint is solved. Get him out of here. But no, I love relationships like that. And I highly recommend to small businesses out there, if you can get into relationships like that with your local schools where you can be making them parts and there's a mutually beneficial relationship out there. Maybe you are like me, you're a tinkerer, you like to work on engines. I love working on cars. I don't have a hoist. They have 7. And my car was on a hoist. Yeah. I had a private hoist, basically.
You have a good auto program. Wow.
Oh, dude.
That's good.
Snap on everything. And they use a card access system for the toolboxes so that, so it knows who took the tools out, right?
How's your high school have this kind of a Snap-on sponsored it all or something? How this happen?
$200,000 in tools.
Yeah, but where did
Bloody hell.
so Snap-on just gave that all to him with the
No.
card code and everything?
No.
How'd this happen?
The school bought it. They got a grant for it.
How did from who? Who's paying for this?
Snap-on was the only tool company that was approved to sell tools to Pasco County schools at the time. So they were able to bid on the project with zero competition whatsoever.
Who is the billionaire you have in your area with a grant for trade schools to build out an auto program? Because all the rest of them don't have any money.
They have a regular auto program. They have a diesel automotive program. They've got a general contractor program. They have a CCNA for nursing. They've got a robotics.
Is this the oil companies or something doing this?
It's Florida, man. We don't have that out here.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we do now. Maybe they're allowed to pump in the Gulf. Who knows? No.
But yeah. Where's it coming from?
This is Pasco County.
I don't get it.
This is Pasco County's initiative to bring back the trades. So
okay, good for them.
Like this is the
Sure. Wow.
dude. These
Going
kids,
full trade.
These kids are leaving high school with ASE certified mechanics.
Yeah,
like
they'll make 120 grand a year as a mechanic someplace.
And as Amber says, don't worry, all the other schools are F schools. She's not wrong. It is a magnet school, but it's a public school too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't ask a lot of questions. But
That's
like, dude,
fair.
the robotics class has a Haas TM1 in the classroom. Like, it's not in a separate area. It's next to the desks in the classroom.
That's amazing.
But see, here's the fun problem. Beautiful CNC machine, right? No money for tooling, no money for tool holders. The teachers have to buy it themselves.
Yeah.
So they have this beautiful CNC machine they can use whenever they want, but they have nothing that they can cut. Well, the teacher's going to be certifying myself and a bunch of other volunteers. As long as we bring our own tooling, he'll let us use the machine as much as we want for that much money.
Yeah, exactly.
And as long as we teach others while we're doing it, it's a win. So remember, even if you don't have, like, we are very lucky. This Kirkland Ranch Academy of Innovation used to be a farm. The Kirkland Ranch. Okay? Like, that's what it was. And not Costco Kirkland. It's just
right. Yeah. That's in
last
Washington.
name.
That's north of us. Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, I got lucky. That school wasn't there when I moved here. That school's 5 or 6 years old now, if that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why they got all the money. That's
yeah. I mean, that's we're getting a lot of those schools out here now. I actually really appreciate it. Right? These kids are leaving high school. They're not going to college, and they're stepping into like $50,000+ a year jobs.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Easily. That's great.
Like, bro, to not have to go to college to end up flipping burgers, great. 10 out of 10. And I get to hire the kids in the summer.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah. So
that's pretty good.
How are you guys growing your team? Because you're in Boise, right? You're near Boise. You're not near what any of us would consider a major metropolitan area. How the hell are you growing the Slant 3D team?
This was always a giant problem. Literally in 2020, we were planning on moving the whole thing down to Austin, Texas, because I was just like, talent's going to be a problem. We're not going to be able to get any of the tech people that we want, or the type of people that I want. I want the energy and the atmosphere, because Boise is a very lackadaisical town.
Right.
But we were going down there, and literally the week I was buying the tickets to go down there, this space for the mega farm came up. And the Lord knows I'll take a bird in the hand over one in the bush. So we took the space, because we weren't going to get a building like this unless we built it from scratch. And I was just like, I can ship people in or figure out remote or something. But weirdly, over the last couple of years, either our hiring methods or just our notoriety has allowed us to get the people that we want. And everybody who works at Slant 3D is homegrown. They're all from Boise area.
I love that.
But yeah, I know it, but it was really weird because I never anticipated that. But even in the software team, sales, or the marketing team, all of us are world-class now, and none of them were like imported or something like that. So that's been a nice surprise. As we keep on growing, we're going to have to fight with this in other areas. Last year, we've run into this, because last year I was shopping for our second mega farm locations, and I was in Louisville, Kentucky. And I went around that town. I was like, great, we're going to go here because it's next to the UPS hub and everything else. We're going to be geographically located everywhere for fulfillment the way we want to be. Great. And I got to Louisville, and I was like, we can't build a factory here, because everybody, number one, Louisville's in rough shape, sure. But I was just like, this is going to be a second-class team. Like the team in Boise is going to look down on the team in Louisville because the team in Louisville will only be able to do fulfillment. There's not the talent base here for me to have development or research or anything else. And I was just like, this is going to create such a terrible culture problem in the company. I cannot build a factory here right now. Because like even here with the software developers, there's 10 feet away from the customer support, and the people down in production get to come up and whine. There's no class system at all. And even though they could work from home, I'm like, no, you know why? Because when a part's bad, we want to come up and slap it on your desk and tell you to fix the system or whatever it was when you're messing with this thing. So I was just like, I can't, the culture is too important because the people are such a high point of leverage. If I save 10 cents per square foot per year, doesn't matter because the person will create something worth millions of dollars per year if they're in the correct environment. So I protect the team more than anything else and will overpay for rent or something or take the hit on shipping or something like that because that's the only way we can do it.
Dude. Love that. I love that so much. Like I wish we had a talent pipeline like that here. Like we can get engineers at a local engineering college. My God, are they expensive? Right.
Yeah.
They're also, from our side, not worth it. Like I've had PhD engineers in, and they put bolts in backwards, and they use like they've never even seen a screwdriver. They're putting Allen keys in on the biggest torque setting and breaking them off, and I'm just there like,
engineering has nothing to do with competence with hardware.
What? No. When righty tighty goes righty loosey, you know it's torqued perfectly.
Yeah, we had somebody use the Ugga Dugga machine on a very small part on an M2 bolt, and I'm like, why? Also, how did you find a bit that fit an impact driver for an M2 bolt? At which point did none of the brain engage?
In all fairness, mechanical engineering has still been the toughest thing for us.
It is.
Because like literally I have a leading indicator. If you have a printer at home, you can't work here. Like if you put on your resume, I love 3D printing as a hobby. I'm like, great, you can't work here.
Why not? Okay, I gotta know why. I gotta know.
See, mine's the other way around. I have to have that because it shows they know what they're doing a bit.
Right. The habits that come from like hobby 3D printing are so bad for production.
Yep.
That I'm like, I can't have you in the building because that person will stop and change a nozzle for 12 years. And I'm just like, this is not your home side project. There's 1,000 more. Move on with life.
Put it on another machine.
There's a main bottleneck here. Yes. All of this kind of stuff. The scale of the problem doesn't really connect with somebody who's had one machine their whole life that they agonize over. And I'm like, this is not your little hobby machine. Go. We got to put parts through.
This is why we tell people, if you need, like, we need on average 30 to 40 printers here at 3D Musketeers. We're not a massive shop. We have 74 now, right? Because when one goes down, I'm not waiting. I'm immediately going to the exact same machine, exact same company. I might even move I might just cut the filament and move it over if I want to use the exact same roll. And then I start. And only once the part is running will we then say, okay, can we afford to keep the machine down? If we can, then it stays down. When it starts to get 3, 4, 5 machines that are down, okay, let's take them all off the line. Let's do some maintenance and then go back online.
We literally have a maintenance line. When a machine goes down, you jerk the machine. No one troubleshoots inside the line or inside of the farm. If the machine goes down, you're not going to troubleshoot. I'm not going to train people how to troubleshoot on the line. You pull it, you take it over to the maintenance line, and that expert over there can run through machines continuously and efficiently fix them if they need to be, or scrap them immediately, one or the other. But even right now, the system, Kraken's gotten smart enough to where we've just about got everything troubleshot based on where the machine, what it was doing at any given moment, or just the feedback from the photo. Yeah. To where it's like, go change out the nozzle on this one. This one's about due for this, whatever it was. Like just that's one of the scale advantages that we get now, to where we can just run machines better.
Jacob, this is the thing that a lot of small businesses don't get to do, right? Like Chris Catlett was saying earlier that, 3D Musketeers is not going to grow like this because I am the limitation. I have a mirror image identical twin. Okay, I actually have an identical twin. Go watch our HT90 video. It is not rotoscoped. That is my identical twin brother. he cannot do this.
Yes.
And if you want to talk about cloning yourself, that I literally have a clone of myself. He cannot do it. He could try. He would probably get pretty close. But I don't think he could do it all. And until you're able to get to that point where you can offload it to other people, your company will stop growing when you run out of time. And Gabe, you found a way to make your time more valuable.
Yeah. And you do it through, well, there's all the things that you do with systems and all the rest of it. For me, though, I had to be broken because I was a very high energy, high functioning type of a person. And about 2 years ago, I finally hit where the max of that was. And literally the analogy I use is like, if the train goes off the rails, I'm not picking it up and putting it back on. I'm going to walk in the next day and say like, better put the fires out and start building that train again because this is the world that we're in, or keep the train from going off the rails. My whole job anymore is just nudging. It's not directing, picking, or fixing or anything like that. It's just keeping the ship in the right direction. But within that, though, too, it also starts to give you kind of a lazy brain, because when you're in kind of small business mode, you're like, we can get this done, or I can take that on, or we can grab that extra job or something like that. And you get into this diminishing returns of grabbing rather than really leveraging where does most of the money come from. I think about this with like filament manufacturers. The filament manufacturers who have 50 colors, but 80% of their sales are for black PLA. I'm just like, why do you do this other work? They have a little bit of an argument because somebody will buy their black PLA and upsell to some green or something like that to fill up the box. So that makes sense. But generally, you're diversifying with no added advantage. You're just trying to add a little bit more on because you got spare time. And I'm like, no. You need to figure out how to expand what you're currently doing into your spare time, so that you just leverage that more and more. And you end up pruning so much stuff away because NVIDIA makes 3 GPUs. They got other stuff, but they make 3 GPUs that pay them $80 billion a quarter.
Yeah.
Apple makes 10 products, basically. And Tesla has 4 cars, and they just killed one. And all of this stuff. The top performing companies do not do a lot of stuff.
No.
Nike makes different types of shoes, but they're all the same shoe. They use the same factory all the way through and kind of retarget it a little bit or change the color of the swoosh. Like you get really good at a very few set of things. And you generally start getting way bigger when you do less stuff, which is really counterintuitive, especially when you're down in the weeds. Cause you're just like, no, the more I do, the more money we make. And I'm like, no. You got to figure out how to be lazy, sit in your chair and still have money show up.
You want to delegate.
Lazy.
You want to delegate. Yeah.
Well, delegation gets caught in the weeds because that seems like assign it to the other person. I am still very hovery. Even though I delegate stuff, I'm still very much a micromanager and know what's going on and all the rest of that stuff. But you want to hire people who are better than yourself. That's another one of the cliches. But like literally, if you cannot leave that person alone with it, where you feel the need to go help them, you need to fire that person. If you feel the need,
they need to
be
automated. They need their agency to do a job, or you're losing your time. And my time's expensive. If I'm hovering over someone as a manager, I'm not doing my job anymore. I'm a manager, and that's not right.
And a real easy way to like scale this thought experiment is like Jeff Bezos is never going to pack all the boxes for Amazon tomorrow if everything went wrong. So whatever your excuse is like doesn't apply to this if you're trying to grow a big business. Ultimately, you got to change the roles and that kind of stuff and trust other people. And small business owners really have a tough time trusting other people.
How hard was it for you to get to that point?
I got to it I have 5 siblings. 3 of them operate businesses, and I'm the first one to get through to doing this, and the only one who still endorses people. Because everybody who starts hiring immediately hates hiring because you are burned by it.
It's so
over
true.
and over again.
It's so true.
Yeah. You hire your first person and you're like, that guy was a moron. I'm never going to hire people again. And then you hire another person and that person was a moron and you're never going to hire people again. So you have to get used to the fact that you will be disappointed over and over again. But at the same time, you get to a point where you understand what your expectations should be. And like, they don't have to care about your company and all those types of things, but you need them to care. You get the feel for how to hire for your culture, for your company, to get people who are good at it, that aren't in the way and irritate you. Most company founders who hate employees hire somebody to do a job like a cog in a wheel rather than hiring a team member. Like, hire people that you want to work with. Don't hire a scut guy for the scut work or something like that, because you'll just be miserable around them and you'll end up ignoring them, and then they'll hate you and you'll hate them, and then they're working there and everybody's miserable. So literally just make sure that the people in the building are people that you want to be around, and they end up getting better, they stay longer, everything gets better. And also, it's going to be very expensive. So again, get used to that idea. And even though you get burned by people, a really good person is worth way more than you pay them, regardless of what you pay them at any level. And this is really tough for people to get a hold of, because most people are not good at hiring and identifying someone who has an outsized value for what they're doing. Because again, you think of them like a cog in the machine, and that's the wrong way to think about it. They're an amplifier. An employee should be an amplifier inside of your company, not a cost line inside of the company. Unless it's, so that's how we think about it most of the time.
I love it, dude. I am at that
Wise
point.
words of wisdom.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible words of wisdom. I'm at that point where it's time. I need a break.
You start breaking.
Yep. No, I need to bring in the right people. So if you're in the Tampa Bay area or somewhere in that area and don't mind commuting, friggin' hit me up. Let's chat. If you've made it this far in this video and you're passionate and you haven't gotten angry yet, send me a resume.
You might show up.
What are we
Even
exactly
if you did get angry, send the resume anyway.
Here's the funny
We
thing.
like angry people.
Like, what are we
Plants are
hiring
spicy.
for?
You can be too.
I don't know. I will make positions for the right people. The right people will fall to where they need to be.
This is what people really don't understand, is that we're always hiring. If somebody shows up and is just like, I'll do this, that, and the other thing, I'm like, you can start tomorrow, dude. I'm fine. Like, you showed up on time, did your thing, and you'll, it would be amazing to me. I'm amazed that this isn't like a hiring tactic, but like somebody showing up competent, ready to go, and saying, I'll work for free for a week so that you can see that I'm good. I've never had anybody do that, but I'm like, if I was loose on the market, that'd be the first thing I'd do. Pick the company that I want to work at and say, I'll work for free. And then just make sure you're out of the way at the very least. And what? If you want to do that?
I don't
do
want
that.
people to do
I do that because if you get ingrained and they're like, oh, he's a good person, put him in a position of importance, and then you're like, bye, guys. They're going to be like, nah, you got to stay. We can't afford you to leave now.
Like this. I'm going to guess Grant doesn't like this because you have a person in the shop in the road who you at least have to pay attention to whether they may or may not work out, and you have no preference.
I don't want people to devalue themselves like that.
Nope, I think that's fine.
Really?
When you started your company, you devalued yourself. You worked for free for years at a time. Exactly. Why not hold that standard to people who are in a job rather than the people who are creating the job? People think that that's located to an entrepreneur. I'm like, this is.
I've had to eat that pill very recently. So I've got a guy called Dan who has been amazing. He is close to me and Rosie now, and he's been working in the factory and has just been a phenomenal productivity boost. Doesn't want any money. He's doing it for the love of the job.
Oh, you should pay him.
When
you should probably.
Oh yeah, no, we will be. We will be paying.
No, you should be right now.
It's like I've literally told him, like, we don't have a job opening for you. We don't have the finance for your level of quality at all, and you're doing jobs that we haven't had scheduled for years. But you've come in and you're just like, I could do that in a weekend, and he started doing it in a weekend, and we've already seen a couple products come out of him, and we're like, shit, he's good.
Like, that's the way you get the job, is you do the job before you do it.
He has got the job.
So
the moment we have money, he is getting the job.
It's the fundamental part of the interview. If you're doing like a coding interview, you have to write code. If you're doing sales or operations or something like that, go get us a sale, and that's your interview. Like, any other questions that I ask would be irrelevant short of, are you a culture fit? Whether you can do your job, I know in the first week if somebody can do their job. So they can do their first week for free.
So
as part of their interview.
I don't look down on those that want to work for free. Say, that's fine. I want to pay you.
Yeah.
That's how I look at that. Say, if you want to volunteer, fine. But I'm going to pay you to volunteer.
Yes.
Right? Is it feels
Oh,
wrong
you
for
never-
me for someone else to work for free.
Oh, if someone is working for you continuously for free, like a high school kid who's like, I want to help out in the factory. No, you have to pay them if
Legally.
just not that ethical reason. Well, yeah. But like the dynamics of it are different. Like, for example, we once had team members who were like subsidized.
Mhm.
So like the state would subsidize their salary because we were training them in a trade or something like that.
Yep.
And I have stopped doing that
It didn't work
because
out
even
for
though
us.
it's bad for the company, yeah, you create a bad incentive structure. I'm like,
Yep.
I'm not paying your salary. I feel somehow more indebted to not fire you or something, which creates dysfunctions in the culture. I'm like, I'll make the decisions based on my dollar going to a person that is useful or something like that. And I don't have to explain it to anybody else.
That's a
But as
damn
far
good
as somebody
point.
working, yeah,
I'm upset by how many points that you've made that directly contradict the things that I think, and I'm like, shit, he's right though. He's right. So
good. This is useful conversation.
no, this is right. And hi, I know this might be weird for a lot of people. I'm taking in external opinions and I'm analyzing them and saying maybe I am
You do
wrong.
change your
Maybe
mind
I need to
sometime.
look at this differently.
You are
This
changing
is-
your internal worldview.
If you are in American politics, this is a wild conception for you right now.
Nope, can't do that. That's impossible.
No, you know, it's I always consider them passionate, but I always said, no, I want you, if you are passionate, you want to work here, fine. But I want to pay you. I want to make sure that you understand the value of your time. Right?
Yes.
That was a big statement for me to make as a business owner.
That's fair. A person shouldn't do it persistently. Like, no one should go to a company, do a lot of work, and then do it for free.
Right.
But if you want to work at a company, you have to prove yourself to that company. And I don't know how you do that other than through the work.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, maybe you interview poorly or you didn't show. Oh, never mind. If you didn't show up right, whatever it was. I have super stringent rules in the first 3 months that, like, you can't be late at all in the first 3 months, which is not that stringent of a rule, but it filters people so fast.
Yep.
I'm like, you're 1 minute late. I'm like, this isn't your high school. You're 1 minute late. That's late. This is one of your strikes. You're done.
Yep. I've been there, done that, man. I
This
understand.
is the simplest thing.
You know, it is probably time for us to expand the team anyways. So I think I'm going to try your method and see how it goes. I'll message you about it and let you know.
I would say do it as just like a day, just like to see if they're good at staying out of the way, being useful, but staying out of the way because they know
It's a
they
bit
know
of a
nothing.
culture fit. If they vibe and they can talk to people and people don't mind them being there, that is enough for me. And if they show the drive to want to see change and they see how they can make it better and they learn in the process, even better. Like this guy, Dan, has been fantastic because I told him, like, we have no position. We have none of this for you. Yada, yada, yada. No money. And he's like, I want to do it because I want to learn it myself. And it just so happens it benefits you at the same time. And you're open source. So I'm going to be open sourcing it for everyone else. And I'm like, you know what? I couldn't stop you even if I wanted to. I'm not going to put any like boundaries in place because you're doing it off your own back. But I'm going to vibe with you anyway because you're kind of cool. And I like what you're doing as a cool project. And I'm just going to give you the rest of the factory space to do your cool project for yourself that just so happens to also benefit us in tandem. And that worked great. And now I'm definitely going to be poaching him the moment that we get money in because, oh my God, his skill set is insane.
I've always hired...
He undervalues himself.
I learned a valuable lesson from my father, which was, you hire for soft skills. You don't hire for hard skills. Hard skills can be trained, soft skills can't. You either have the give a damn training or you don't, right? And if you don't have it, then you ain't here, right?
Yep.
That was the biggest shift for me. And it's why we have such a long-standing team with 3D Musketeers, because we've hired people not for the skill they came to the table with, but for the skill they could come to the table with in 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever. But they vibe with the rest of the company, and that's all that matters. If they want, if they're passionate and they want to learn, they'll learn. If they're not passionate and they don't want to learn, then they ain't a fit for us. Go flip burgers or something, I guess. I don't know. Gabe, this has been awesome. Is there any like last piece of sage advice you'd like to leave the audience with? I know we've taken up way more of your time than we
Was it-
qualified for.
Oh, wow. No, I'm good. This was fun. We covered the gamut.
Yeah.
We should do this again.
Yeah,
This was
dude.
great.
Yeah, this was fun.
Now
I'm
that
down.
you've been on once, anytime you want, let us know. You got a new product coming out you
We
want to
gotta
talk
bring it.
about? Let's talk about
We'll
it.
get it scheduled here, and 3 months from now, we'll. No, yeah, this was fun. I'm down to do it again. But yeah, I don't have anything else. I think we're good.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys, for having me on. This was a blast.
Dude, it
No,
was,
this was a pleasure. This was just hanging out now. I loved it.
Yeah.
this is why we like doing the shows live. You know, there's a little bit of audience participation too. They're able to ask questions, and you know, if you did miss this one live and you do want to join us live, it's normally Sundays at noon. Next weekend, though, it's 1 hour later. We're starting 1 hour later next weekend because we have a special guest, Mr.
Wait, is it 1 hour later or 1 hour earlier?
Later.
Oh, your message said earlier.
Did it? Could have sworn it said
This is
later.
what Google Calendar's for.
Shit. Let me make sure I
I
asked
know, right?
later.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
On the 17th, can we start an hour later? It's right
What?
there in the
No.
message.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
That's been well established, but so am I.
I'm just dyslexic. It's
Getting by.
fine.
Well, so next weekend maybe it won't happen, but we're gonna try to have David Tobin on to talk all about
sweet.
from someone who lives in California, the 3D printed firearm stuff. So if you guys want to hang out there, make sure to come and join us. Gabe, it's been a pleasure, guys. Check out slant3d.com. Go get some of those oil sticks. I gotta get me some because
Yep.
I'm literally
I'm
using.
getting some.
You can see it. It's
Yeah.
it's sitting right behind me. There it is. My bottle of sewing machine oil. It's right there.
Try
and
it
it
very
gets,
carefully. Don't drip on your bed.
I pull the build plates off.
Yep,
Plates off.
it's too much work. Too much work. I
Yep.
don't have time for that kind of stuff.
Follow
I'm a Gabe on
Slant.
this. Too much work.
Follow Slant3D on all the socials. You know, go subscribe to him over on YouTube if you haven't yet. But that is it, y'all. We're gonna give away some filament. We're gonna send you to go hang out with Mr. Steve Builds, and I don't know. Just enjoy the rest of your days. Happy Mother's Day to
Yeah.
the moms and moms to be out there. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one.
Bye all.
See ya.
All right. So that is the recording side of this. We are still technically live. I want to be clear. We are still technically live. Now we give away some filament that we don't include that in the recordings that we publish on, like, you know, other channels and stuff like that.
Oh
So
no.
What?
My
what'd you do?
remuxing is stuck at 21%. Why?
Did you run out of drive space, Jacob?
No, I have 400 gigabytes remaining.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna turn
Oh,
off
it's going up now.
the-
There we go.
I'm gonna turn off the sheet. Thanks for chilling.
That's a
Gabe.
good point.
No, this
If
was
anyone
fun.
needs machine oil, getting the oil stick, buy some more clean at the same time to clean up any spills. There you
Well,
go.
We gotta get a
Synergy.
collab going here.
We,
'Cause, like,
you
literally,
guys
Jacob-
should.
Yeah. We were
That'd
about
actually
to
be a really
release
good
an
idea.
egg cleaner thing that was just like a setup kit or something like that. That you have your oil stick, some alcohol, and a thing all in like one little brick. But yeah, all clean sounds
yeah.
better. We're gonna have to try.
We
some of that
should supply you with like Slant 3D all clean.
stuff. Yeah, I'd be
Like
down.
like get your brand on it and everything so you can make that kit.
I don't care that much.
Done.
It's too much stuff to manage. We'll wholesale
well,
it for
that's
you.
the
I'm like,
neat thing is we white label it already. We've got the
Oh, yeah.
full chemical company set up. So
Mhm.
we've
Oh,
got
that's
the
great.
production lines already ready. We've got the chemical supply already set up. So we just apply label, apply your boxing, and even you can choose your own like bottle. And then we will do the
Ah.
entire math of profitability
Mhm,
openly with you. So you can see how much we're taking, how much you're taking,
mhm.
and then you can white label it and have it as yours.
Mm.
Let's see here. So Zach's
Yeah.
man won the
I'll talk to
first.
the Tangled team tomorrow and let them know if we want to chase
Yeah,
it
that'd
down.
be great.
'Cause, yeah, that'd be I think that's
Do them
something
in
to
the bigger like 750ml bottles or liter bottles so you can do factory stuff.
I think
with
we'd
them.
actually stay within the size that you are, because like what we're doing with the oil stick is it's like for the first bamboo user who's a consumer user who
Yeah,
will
man.
use it, print 5 things,
150
so they
mils
just need a little
perfect for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Can
Yeah.
I put it on my carbon rods though? No,
Yes,
I-
you can.
I don't know.
you shouldn't.
You can.
At least the all
I
clean
don't know
you
what the
can.
rules are.
I
Oh,
know the
yeah.
oil stick. You shouldn't.
Yeah, the oil stick.
No,
you
don't
should
do that.
probably
Don't do
actually
that. That would destroy it.
Yeah, no, don't do it. Do not do it. Zach's man won the first one, but I don't think he's here. I tried tagging him. Oh, there he is. Okay, he figured it out.
I like how Jetplumer has already asked 55-gallon drums. We can do that, just so you know. You're saying it's a meme, but we can do that.
That's how much.
Gilbert Nar wants to know why the Tangle team isn't watching right now. Because it's the weekend.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's kind of the reason. I haven't pushed people out.
All right, and our final winner. Let me make sure. Sometimes people don't do the math right, man. There's a little bit of a math question to get Filament. We figure it helps keep some of the riffraff out, but sometimes people don't get the math right, and it's kind of funny.
Everybody's out.
Look, I never said I was a mathematician, but the answer's 42. Okay, it's 6 times 7. Okay,
It's always that one.
Yeah, it's not like,
of course
you know,
it is.
We're not making it hard. So, but all right, y'all. Thank you all for coming out. Let me edit the show so it goes and sends you to Mr. Steve Builds, who is working on something. Apparently a Vertigo Mark 1. I didn't know what it was. I'm a bad person. But congratulations to the winners. Reach out to me on Discord if you haven't already. That's it, guys. We'll see you later. Have a good one.
See y'all.
Bye everyone. Stay safe.